What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, first episode of 2025. Do appreciate you very much. Happy New Year. How's everyone doing? Hope you guys like the AI generated music in the beginning there, and the new intro that we have right before the show starts. 2025. Yesterday we reviewed 2024. What happened in 2024? We watched a couple videos. We did a couple of stories, and now we're doing it again. 2025. Hope everyone had a great, safe New Year. I stayed up way too late. I'm exhausted. I'm on caffeine rush. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Marvel Rivals leak reveals upcoming new game mode and characters. We're also going to be talking about Disney bullies theaters, forcing Mufasa on more theaters than Sonic 3, even as the Hedgehog earns far more. And then we're also going to watch a video from Laura Fryer. We watched one of her videos the other day. Really like her videos. I came across when I was watching her stuff, I started looking through other things, and there was a video done 8 months ago called The Chainsaw Hoax, okay? And I started watching a little bit of it, and I was like, you know what? I want to talk about this on stream because of my background in film and television and working in reality television, okay? There was a video done that she did back in 2006, I think, about behind the scenes of Gears of War, and so I want to give my input on what she went through or still dealing with because of the way reality shows are filmed or edited and whatnot. So if you guys like what we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I do appreciate you very much for coming out and hanging out with us. What's going on, Fat Dave? What's going on, Travis? What's going on, Stealth? Nate? Clips? Who else is here? Argus, what's going on? Fixer, good morning. Travis says, 30, just asking, wouldn't that be the theater's fault for giving in to Disney? No, it's not the theater's fault. It's the, I can't say what it is today, but I know what it was when I was in the movie theater business, right? So I used to work at the theater, and certain companies, okay, especially at the time, like, when Disney wants their movies in their theaters, they say, hey, if you get this next big blockbuster, you have to show our other movies as well. They kind of like sort of mafia type themselves into certain places where they'd have to sign the contract. So that's what Disney does when they don't want competition. Because remember, it used to be like 37% of the theater. Okay, like all movies that came to theaters, 37% of those were like Disney films. So the theaters have to bend, otherwise they don't get the films. And if the theaters want to make money, then they put those movies in the theaters, right? So, and to answer your question, Travis, some of the songs have the same lyrics. I just did them in different genres, but some of them are different. I believe the one that you like, the Irish one, is the same as the very first one. Oh, which you guys didn't hear, which is a like a 1920s jazz lively thing. So, yeah, I basically all I did was take some lyrics that I liked and put it to different genres of rock, punk, whatever. I really like the intro one, which is like the punk version. And there's like a longer version of it, but I just did the first like 30 seconds. Anybody do anything special for New Year's Eve? You see some of the... Did you guys see this drone show? Hold on a second. I got to show you this one. Where would it be on? Let's see. Let me show you. Did you see this? This is just 18 seconds. I don't want to log in. I want to show you. Like, imagine, okay, imagine seeing this and you didn't know it was like New Year's or whatnot. I'm not going to put the audio. Okay. How do you rewind? Like, look at this. That's insane. It's like a mothership. There's like fireworks coming from above, right? From above. There's dragons flying, circles happening. Like, what in the world? That's insane. Absolutely insane. Stell said, "My wife tried something new this year. We banged into 2025. Was incredible. Well, we banged. Nice, nice stealth. I mean, was it at New Year's? Did your balls drop when the ball dropped? I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. We what's it called? Last night we watched a couple of movies. Right? Watched a couple of movies. We watched a movie called Harold and the Purple Crayon, right? Because we do that's interesting. Come on. It was laid up there. It was laid up there, Travis. We watched Harold and the Purple Crayon because we watch every New Year's Eve. We watch multiple movies and we bring in the new year. So last night we watched Harold and the Purple Crayon. Nice movie. Didn't do very well in the box office, but I thought it was really well. Zachary Levi, I think, did a really good job in there. Zoe Deschanel, I think that's her last name. The movie was good. It was a good movie. It was a cute movie. I wouldn't see it in theaters, but it was a good movie. Then the second movie we watched was, oh God, I'm gonna butcher it. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna have to look it up. Something up. It's with Cranston and Kevin Hart. Let me look it up. I forget, something up in the air, something like that. This movie was really good. All right, Kevin Hart. It was called. It was much better. It was much better than it came out in like 2018, if I'm not mistaken. 17. Donors 2019, Night School, no. Or the City, Dead House, Campus. Miles Ahead. What the hell was it? It had to be. I can't find it. It was based on a true story. That's so weird. I'm like at his. Yeah, I can't find it. The Upside. That's it, Travis. The Upside. Yeah, that is a really good movie. Really good movie. Like Kevin Hart, as obviously like as a comedian or whatnot. It's not a funny movie like slapstick comedy or anything like that. It's like there's humorous moments in it, right? And I was looking at it. I went to IMDb. It wasn't in his IMDb list, right? The Upside. Yeah. It's really good. Got me in the got me in the feels. And Cranston plays a really good part too. It had to be really hard for him. And it's funny because I always remember people complaining about like you can't have an actor play a handicapped person because you have to have a handicapped person play a handicapped person, hence acting. And Cranston plays a quadriplegic, and Kevin Hart has to take care of him, right? And it's just a really good, like, I don't know, like these two people needed each other, right, to like become better. It was a good movie. Eclipse says, I actually did watch the Kingard play the last time he could play Friday the 13th online. It was pretty fun. Friday the 13th is a really good game. It was fun. It was broke, buggy, and unfinished when it came out, but when you played with people, it was really fun. What's going on, gamer? Happy New Year. It was the best thing in Godzilla movie. That movie wasn't very good. That Godzilla movie wasn't very good. It was good, but not great. And then we finished off Murders in the Building. Season 4 of Murders in the Building. And it's my least favorite if you guys are watching it, it's my least favorite season of all the seasons so far. It was good, but I thought they kind of like jumped the shark a little bit. But they kind of brought it back. They just was way too many celebrities like cameos, and they weren't playing like parts. They were playing themselves as a part, right? And I don't like when they do that. It was like so like fourth wall meta type of thing because if you guys are watching the show and you know what it is, they're MERS in the building. The final season, the fourth season. It's not the final season. I think there was a fifth season coming. The fourth season is about someone made a movie about their podcast, and it's just so like I don't know. I liked it, but wasn't in love with it. All right, let's go to the first story here. Fifth and sixth. Oh, did they get picked up for two more, Travis? I mean, if you watch the fourth season, you'll know that there's a fifth season definitely coming. I know they got picked up for the fifth. I didn't know about the sixth. It's a good show. It's on Hulu. Those of you that are interested. All right, all the conversations that we have today are in the description down below. All the news stories, all the videos, all the stuff. I watched the video yesterday. I posted it in the Discord about the Skyblivion. I'm not going to watch it on stream because it's a really long video. But holy Christ, this is just like Fallout 76, or this is like the Fallout London mod people made. But now they're doing it for like Skyblivion, which is completely different developers than the other guys. But it was really long video. But like holy Christ, I wanted to go over it, but I was just like, it's a little bit too long and slow. It tells you a lot, and they're about a year out, a little less than a year out for Skyblivion. And then obviously there's rumors going around that Bethesda is going to make a remake of Oblivion, like a remaster. That Valve news blew my mind. Which one? The one I did yesterday, Travis, about the about making most money per employee. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at other companies, why do you think certain companies that are doing video games, why are they going to make a new game when look at Rockstar, for instance, right? The one that you sent me. Did you send that to me? Oh, you said that yesterday. Yeah. I read that yesterday. Yeah, the same one. I think Krebsy submitted it. Yeah, he sent it on the 30th at like 7 o'clock, so he beat you by a couple hours. What was I saying? We're just talking about the companies like Epic or the companies that are doing microtransactions like Rockstar, right? They're making more money off of the microtransactions than the actual game itself. So if you look at it, why would Valve make video games when they're making a shit ton of money not making video games? Do you know what I mean? They have the luxury of trying the Steam Deck. They have the luxury of doing other things. Hence what Epic's doing now. Because of Fortnite, they had the luxury, which sounds ridiculous, to lose millions of dollars to put games on Epic to get people to come to Epic, right? Little by little, they're building up your library because you downloaded games or did games for Epic, and they lock you in with and they want you to stay there, okay? So because they're making so much money over here with Fortnite and the skins and the season passes and all the other stuff, right? They're not even dipping into what they're making from the residuals from the Unreal Engine. They're not even dipping into the other avenues of the stuff, right? They're making a ridiculous amount of money, okay? So when you look at Rockstar, they're doing the same thing. This is why we haven't had a Grand Theft Auto game in a decade, because they're making so much money off the microtransactions, right? So Valve's like, yeah, we don't need to make games. And they only have like 300 employees. I would say they're running it the most efficient possible, you know what I mean? they don't have a lot of bloat. That's why they're worth so much, because the people that are working there, I would assume, are really good at what they do, or really efficient. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not good. They just know what the hell they're doing, and they're keeping it slim. The clip says, "Yeah, did you see that the CoffeeZilla video about Valve and the CS:GO gambling? That's a good video. If you haven't watched it, I haven't seen that. I love watching CoffeeZilla stuff, but I haven't seen that one. Did that just come out like last couple days?" Travis says, I got Epic just for free games, but now I enjoy using it. Bought myself Dragon Age games on it. It's crazy how subtle earworms. Yeah, that's exactly what they want to do, right? If they keep giving you stuff, you'll be like, oh, my library is pretty big, right? And then you might play there. This is exactly why PlayStation does what they do, right? This is why Phil Spencer said what he said about people are not going to switch over platforms because they lost a platform war because of games that were in the library. I mean, you're the perfect example, Travis, and I'm not giving you shit, right? But you lost your library, okay? But you still stay with that company, right? That's how powerful it is to keep people, right, with the library that you have. This is why they do what they do, right? Valve's got you. Or Steam, right? Valve's got you with Steam. They know you're not going anywhere. They know all of your games are on their launcher. You're not going anywhere. They got you. Yeah, but I'm not giving you shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm using it as an example, not to give you shit for it. Like a week ago? Okay. All right, let's talk about Marvel Rivals. Right? I'm enjoying Marvel Rivals. The last couple days, I played with my son. Was it 2 days ago we played? I played with Mr. Luke. He got me through the other the season stuff where you team up with people. Marvel Rivals is a really fun game. And that's the video I wanted to watch as well. There was a video that the guy came out with talking about the chrono tokens being taken. But then Asmongold reacted to his video, and I was going to watch Asmongold reacting to his video, but we'll just talk about it, right? So the chrono tokens, we had this conversation, what was it, on Monday, about people with the bots and the chrono tokens taken away from you. I'm having a blast with the game, but now because the chrono tokens are out, right, or the people are talking about it, I kind of like scaled back a bit because I was like, I knew it was happening, but then when they said it, it was also almost reminded me of Helldivers 2 incident that happened early last year. Okay, everyone was loving Helldivers. And then Sony came in and was like, you got to sign in. And it like killed the momentum for Helldivers 2. Obviously, Helldivers 2 is still a popular game. It didn't destroy the game, but it was a massive, speed bump or valley that happened, and it took them a while to get it back, right? Marvel Rivals right now is having that moment of they're doing so well, okay? But all of a sudden, now there's this moment of you're hurting yourself, okay? And Asmongold asked a question yesterday when he was watching the other guy's video, right? He says, does what NetEase is doing make the game better for the players? No, it doesn't, right? Not looking at this new game mode. We're talking about the chronos, right? Being so convoluted with the chrono tokens and how it take it away from you and do this, it's like, why? Why are they doing that? It's for engagement, but then we know about the bots. So I think Marvel Rivals could be sabotaging themselves here because of greediness, where they're still going to make the money, but they choose to be this way because obviously they want you to engage. They want you to engage every season. They don't want you to play 100 hours in one season and then not be able to play the second season because you're just going to take the chrono tokens that you have and move them on over. Besides all that, Marvel Rivals leak reveals upcoming new game mode, okay? So let's talk about the new game modes, and I think they could get through this because of the new game modes, because of the new people coming in. Another piece of Marvel Rivals content has been leaked. One of the reveals is a new game mode could soon be arriving, a newly popular hero shooter. Marvel Rivals has proven to be a smash hit with gamers around the world, thanks to part of its iconic IP and hefty roster of 33 characters. With more expected later down the line, the game does seem prone to leaks, however, with the latest piece of mind information being upcoming Capture the Flag mode. Here's the thing with these, right? Obviously, there's data miners. It doesn't look like they're going after any kind of data miners right now, okay? It doesn't look like they're going after anybody. But someone was like, I don't know if I want to make any leaks anymore because they might come after me. I think this works perfect. I don't want to say it works for every game. What's going on, Wolverine? Happy New Year. But I do think it works for the game like this, right? I'm on record saying that this game needed 40 characters when it was coming out. I think leaking the characters, and we know about another, I think, 18 characters that are already coming out, right? I think there's 7. There's like 17 characters that are leaked right now out there. Okay, and we'll go over those in a second as well. This is actually really good for a game like this, right? For all of the bad stuff that's happening right now with the chrono tokens being taken away from you, roll queue coming out, people nerfing or buffing or stuff like that, I think this is par for course. This is exactly what it needs to be. And with all these leaks coming out, it just helps the game keep current, keep relevant, especially since it's comic book characters and people want to know the next character coming into the game. So within a few weeks of a release, Marvel Rivals seems to be taking the gaming community by storm, with the free-to-play game title boasting a massive player count. And the game currently includes 3 distinct modes: Domination, where people compete against to capture or hold a point or control point on the map; Convoy, which players escort or preventing and moving a vehicle to get to the designated endpoint on the map; and Convergence, essentially a mashup of the prior 2. Game technically does have a 4th mode with Jeff's Winter Splash Festival, which will be leaving soon. And temporarily for the season of Marvel Rival ends. Okay, the leak is potential new Capture the Flag mode for Marvel Rivals comes from a reputable leaker called XOX Leak, who reportedly dove into the game files and retrieved the information. Now, the developer NetEase has been hinting that the new game mode is in the works, potentially syncing with the leak. Okay, is the most in most Capture the Flag modes, 2 teams try to retrieve the opposing team flag and bring it back to the base. Scoring usually relies on the timer when the objective is being captured and returned to many flags as possible before time runs out. As you can tell, there's a picture of Spider-Man there. And if any of you guys are playing Marvel Rivals right now, you would know that Spider-Man is going to be one of those go capture the flag because he's so fast to get to the other side and stuff like that. Or even Doctor Strange, right? This is what I want to talk about, right? With characters like Doctor Strange, with characters like Spider-Man, where they move so fast, Iron Man, all of these things, if they bring a capture the flag, what do you guys think? Is it going to work? Do you think it'll be kind of unbalanced? Do you think that in the very beginning you can have Doctor Strange use his portal over there, grab it, and then walk through the portal again, right? So there's a lot of things that could go wrong with this new game mode, but I'm interested in seeing what a new game mode would look like with Capture the Flag with people with superpowers, okay? So should the leak prove to be true, Marvel Rival players will be able to experience a new agility-focused gameplay style. This has led to some players already suggesting optimal characters for such a mode, namely duelists such as Spider-Man or Hawkeye. The latter of the two has recently become quite a hot topic debate, with fans feeling strongly one way or the other about nerfing Hawkeye and Marvel Rivals. I don't think you should nerf him. I'll be honest, man. I don't think you should nerf it. I don't think you should nerf anybody. I think people that play those characters are going to be good at those characters, but then the person against them, someone that's Iron Fist, can get melted by anybody else that's working with like Wanda or even Mantis can melt him, right? Punisher can melt him. So there's always that other character that you can switch to beat that character that you think is OP. Now, obviously, if you have a really good skilled player playing any character that really knows the character, it's going to be really hard to win against them. It doesn't need to be nerfed, though. Okay. They say that Hawkeye, feeling stronger way other than they're nerfing Hawkeye in Marvel Rivals, many of the nerfs feel that the character is overpowered. While against it, I think its skill ceiling is high enough to consider balance. That's another thing, right? Each character, you might get that 1% guy that's going around, like the guy who's number 1 with Wolverine. Everyone thought Wolverine was the shittiest character in the game, and yet there's a guy out there, okay, Team Captain, I think his name is, who's number 1 in the world, not just with Wolverine, in the world. The top of the charts while playing Wolverine. Everyone's like, yeah, Wolverine's a D-lister. Wolverine's a shit. They're putting Wolverine in his own list. Meanwhile, this dude's number 1 character is Wolverine. So does Wolverine need to be nerfed? Me and Wolverine in chat were having a conversation just a couple of weeks ago that he needs to be buffed, right? You see what I'm saying? I think it was way too early to talk about nerfs and buffs a couple of weeks ago, and I still think that people don't need to be nerfed or buffed. Okay, even more leaks from Marvel Rivals content. In addition to the leaks, potential new Capture the Flag mode, another leak has revealed that new Groot skin in Marvel Rivals called Rusted Groot in the cosmetic alters and color Groot's bark. Adds several unique accessories to create a distinctive look. With numerous updates and content on the horizon, fans are eagerly anticipating the future of Marvel Rivals. A lot's going good with this game right now. Let me look at, there was a list this morning that I was looking at that we're talking about all the different characters. I just got to scroll through a little bit. And if you're watching right now over on Twitter, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. You can come on over to the YouTube channel as well. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. There was a list this morning that someone posted. Let me see. It was a couple hours ago. Let me see if I can find it. I'm absolutely loving it. I haven't played in the last couple days as much as I did in the past, just because I'm done with the season pass. Right? I paid for the season pass. They made the money off of me, but I didn't buy the season pass until I had enough chrono tokens to purchase all the stuff in the season pass. Once I had enough, purchase the season pass, and now there's no reason to continue playing unless, obviously, you like the game, play the game. But I'm saying, for me personally, there's not a lot going on where I was grinding chrono tokens before to complete the pass. But now that I completed the pass, I'm done. I put it down, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I just think they're stopping me from, if I could continue playing and build up the chrono tokens right now for the next season, because maybe next season I'm not going to play as much. You know what I mean? No, I haven't finished Indy yet. We're on the last board that we got there on Monday night when we played through, Travis. Where is the Marvel Rivals? There's like 17 characters that were talked about. All right, we're getting close. I remember scrolling through some of this morning. You know what? I'll just type it in. I don't know if it's going to be... It's going to be the same. Marvel Rivals, leaked characters. One day ago, 13 characters, as they said. I thought the one I saw today was like 17, but we'll keep it. So, new characters right now: Hitmonkey, Deadpool, Captain Marvel, Emma Frost, Phoenix / Jean Grey, Valkyrie, MODOK. Right, MODOK might be coming to the game. Mr. Fantastic, Human Torch, Invisible Woman, The Thing, Blade, and Ultron. We knew about Ultron, Blade, The Thing, all the Fantastic Four. Hitmonkey, we heard about. Deadpool, Captain Marvel, Emma Frost. Right, there's so many different characters that are coming in. And remember, I said 40, right? So right now we have, it'll be 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. And then you have an additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So you have an additional 7. So technically, by these leaks, obviously I don't know if all these characters are coming out in season 1, but we already have an additional, 13 characters on top of the 33 that are already in the game. Right? Eclipse says, most characters use Chronos, you know what that used on, and can't use it on the mouse and keyboard. Most cheaters use Chronos, you know what that used on can't use it on the mouse and keyboard. I don't know what that, I don't know the joke you're making. Went over my head. Wolverine says, eager to see all the new characters and team composition or comps and the game progress. I think, I said this a couple weeks ago, Wolverine. I think the team-ups, right, are the big shifting force in this game, where everyone thinks it's OP, but next season when they change the meta, right, instead of nerfing and buffing the characters with their special abilities for each of the characters, they change the team-ups, and that changes the thing. So they don't have to nerf or buff characters, right? Hopefully, right? Here's what I don't like about the YouTube space, about people making videos, right? Someone will tell you, and obviously they're doing their job, because they're making the money. They're grinding, making the money by talking about things like, this guy's so powerful, we need to nerf this. And then they start to nerf these things. I don't think it's a one-to-one comparison, but I do believe that when one person sees it, if I make a video, 100 people see it, not a big deal. But if Asmongold made a video, or someone made a video and he watches it, it goes out to millions and millions of people, that does affect that. They're like, oh, wait, we need to nerf this character. And I don't believe they want to nerf a lot of characters. I believe that they're as intended, right? As Marvel characters, they're supposed to be powerful. They're supposed to be good, like feel good, power fantasy. And I believe there is, for every one character that's OP, there's 3 people, like their counterparts, that can shut them down. At least 3. There might be more. Oh, the device is called Chronos Zen. Gotcha. You're talking about the little box that they use for mouse and keyboard on consoles. Is that what you're talking about? I don't even think you have to use that now. Because on Xbox, I think you can just plug and play. Can't you? I mean, hell, I could put a. I mean, it doesn't assist me in the game, but on my screen that I bought, it has a crosshair on there, so I know where my center point is. So when I'm doing fast, I know, you could tune in your skills just with that. Kuda Papa says we're telling Travis not to point fingers about cheating because many of the cheaters are on PlayStation with the Chronos. I gotcha. I mean, you can see the people cheating. So we watched the video the other day, Travis, and people didn't know if they were cheating or if people were bots or what was happening, right? Wolverine says, yes, it's a delightful piece of hardware. You've heard. You've heard. Yeah, Wolverine, I saw that you said you're playing, you've been enjoying this. You've been playing a lot. I saw that. I saw your stats. Incorrect. Most cheaters are on PC. Not true, Travis. See, this is where you come in and you think you're spitting facts, but you're really just making yourself ignorant about it. Most people cheat on console. Just letting you know. Hit Diamond 2 last night. Nice. Congrats. Right? Lots and lots of people cheat on console. Right? Obviously, on PC, right? Except they are. Okay. Right? When you look at PC, it's like looking at a body of water in Florida. You go, yeah, there's a gator there. When you talk about PC, you're like, yeah, PC has cheaters. And then everyone thinks that no one cheats on console, but yet console cheaters are rampant. Okay? Rampant. Argus says the current Xbox and the last Xbox have native mouse and keyboard support. It's just the games on the dev side that don't support it. Devices like to modify your controller behavior and allow you. Got you. More PC players reported than any console. Key word there. More PC players reported. That's correct, Travis. More PC players are reported, but there's a shit ton of people that cheat on console. But people don't think it is cheating because they're like, oh, yeah, no one can cheat on console. Argus says you use a mouse and keyboard trickling on the console into thinking it's a controller. Oh, no console cheats, just not as much on PC. But here's the thing. If there's 1 million people, let's say, cheating on PC, but they're all cheating on different games, but then there's 1 million people cheating in just Call of Duty on console, would that make more cheaters on PC or just more people on PC across the board, right? There's a shit ton of people that cheat on Call of Duty and all these other first-person shooter games because on console. We see reports about it all the time, right? With monitors they're using now, with the little devices that people are using now. To say that it's not happening and now changing it up and saying it's not as much as PC, you're just moving the goalpost. What they're talking about is there's people using a device that changes that does it on console, and you're just going, yeah, no, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Eclipse says because PC actually has anti-cheat, consoles doesn't have it. So of course they don't get reported. Exactly, Eclipse, and that's why more people do it on console. Wolverine says you could argue that the ratio is higher on PC because of software as opposed to hardware only on console. Sure, Wolverine, but again, the percentage is the percentage, right? You know what I mean? So let's say 10% of the people, right? 10%, right? 10% is 10%. There's a shit ton of people cheating on consoles, but people don't realize it because they think, oh, it's sort of like people think that Apple doesn't get hacked, right? They're like, oh yeah, no viruses on an Apple phone or an Apple computer. There are. There's just not as many reported, but they're there. Travis says, I'm saying Marvel Rivals, more people reported cheating on PC than any console. I don't care about. Where is this report? Show me the reports, Travis, that you're looking at. What Marvel Rivals data do you have in front of you right now that shows specifically that PC's got more cheaters than console right now? Link it to me, please. I would love to bring it up on chat so everyone can see the same thing that you're looking at to make claims like that. Oh yeah, Argus. And again, people can buy monitors. The monitor comes standard with stuff like that to show you where people are, like a heat vision on the monitors themselves. Okay, how would you report that? How would anyone report that? How would anyone know that I'm using a? I'm not, but I don't even know how to fucking turn it on my system. But on the new system, the screen I have, I can literally just put a marker on there all the time. How would you report that? You wouldn't, right? I'm not playing on PC. I'm playing on console, and I have a guarantee lock on dead center of the screen all the time where I can see it. Wolverine says, when they are sold at GameStop, it's easy for Timmy to ask mommy. Oh, sure. Travis says, it's called the Paul Tassi effect. Make shit up, lie nonstop, and still be unemployed. So you're saying you're a liar? Is that what you're saying? You just make up shit? I don't understand. I don't understand. Wait, what are we talking about? Chris says it takes more effort and money to cheat on console. All you need to do to cheat on a PC is the PC. You already have it, and then the internet. The more effort required, then less people are involved. Yeah, but that doesn't say that there's not cheaters on console. So you're saying a device is what's stopping everyone? There's no cheaters on console because of the price point. You're talking about the same price point that people spend $25 on a skin, where they spend $50 on a skin, where they pay $120 for a game. You're saying those people that play competitive on console for games, the price point's what's stopping them. Got it. You're right. The PC cheaters that were doing the monthly subscription model. Okay. Like, there's literally, like, thank you, Wolverine. There's a program that you can pay a monthly fee for. I think it was like as little as $7. $7 to use it. Like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Especially, and I know you're not here every single day, right? I don't expect everyone to be here every single day. We've had multiple conversations about the cheating devices, the paid programs about the cheating devices, the actual devices themselves, all for console, right? Then the screens, right? The actual screens, okay? On Generation X Gaming, on the daily grind, just in conversation when we're playing video games in general. Like, you guys are like absurd. We're going, yeah, it's not happening. It's just on PC. I mean, cool. Murder outside your window. Nah, it's not happening. I don't see him, even though he's standing right there. Akuda Papa says, actually, it doesn't. I can tell people have never used software like that. The hardware is actually easier to use than some of those software cheats. Danny Own Gamer says, when people want to cheat, they will do regardless, or at least what an ex-girlfriend used to do and say. Right? Yeah. I swear to God. I mean, it's great that you guys live in a world where you think, no, it's a price point thing. No one's going to spend money to cheat, right? Hold on. Let me see if I can find the article. Or 1 year ago, there's an article. Anyone notice increase of cheating on console? Here's an article back in March. More cheaters on PC or console? What's your opinion? That's not an article, though. That's a form. Using Zim to use a mouse and keyboard. That's another thing, right? That's another piece of stuff. Right? And you got to remember, a lot of these companies don't care about the cheaters because of engagement, right? A lot of these first-person shooters don't care about the cheaters. They say they are. They're using the anti-cheats and stuff like that, but they don't care because the more people are cheating, the more people are playing their game, the more people are playing their game, the more opportunity they have to monetize those people that are playing the game. Travis says, I don't think it's a price point thing. I think it's more of a console gamers have skill, PC players don't. Oh, for God's sakes. What a load of fucking shit that is, Travis.
Stop it. Get some help.
For fuck's sake, skill issue. For God's sakes. If that cheater's paying for their microtransactions, they don't care. Yeah, people have money to spend it on what they do. Remember the article that we read about the kid? It wasn't an article. It was a video we watched. The guy asked the cheater, why do you cheat? And he says, because I'm bored. Right? They just do it because they're bored. They're like, yeah, I just wanted to kill people. Right? I just want to do the thing. It has nothing to do with how much it costs. It has nothing to do with the amount of what the little box costs. If it's $120, if it's $30, there's software that's literally $7 a month. Wolverine says some people just want to watch the world burn. Exactly right. Right? It's exactly right. They do it because they're just like, yeah, I want to show. Remember that whole video you watched? Now, obviously, it's on PC for the what was it? Was it Tarkov? The little shift, right? The little swagger, right? Imagine going, yeah, there's no cheaters, right? Imagine being a PC gamer and not knowing that there's cheating. And you're like, yeah, there's no cheating going on in PC. And then you watch that video of the whole underground corporation where everyone's cheating. Imagine that, right? Imagine that you thought there was no cheaters and then everyone in the game is cheating. Be like, how many fucking cheaters are there in this game? Most people play on consoles and TVs, don't use gaming monitors. PC players prefer PC because it gives them more control to tinker and change the game and modify their link. You're not wrong there, Chris, but to say that there's more, it's a percentage of people that are cheating, right? And it's rising more and more because it's more sustainable, or not sustainable, that's the wrong word. It's more viable to get the software for console, get the device for software, put it on a TV. Okay, there are things around it. To say that it's not happening, well, it's like, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Hence why people complain about cheating on console. They think they're fixing it by making games like Marvel Rivals, where you just click console only, and you're like, yeah, I'm not going to get any cheaters. But there's literally cheating going on console as well. Travis says 30. I don't care what anyone says. Lion King beating. It was all the skill I never ended for my entire life. Fuck that game. Oh, the Lion King game. Yeah. Kuda Papa says, Chris, I can buy a Chronos for about $100, then put an aim assist to 1,000% and basically have an aimbot. Yeah. Yeah, and you would never know. And you can play on television set. Right? And you can play on the television set. Yeah, let's. We weren't going to watch this. Let me see what this is. Right, this is it, right? Let's watch this, shall we? Let's educate ourselves, right? And I'm not saying that as a as right. Let's watch this, okay? We weren't going to watch this, but this is how the daily grind is, right? We're talking about something. I'm gonna put this in the chat. Here we go. Let's educate ourselves and hear about this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be discussing and demystifying the Cronus Max, aka the supposed device that Call of Duty YouTubers are using to cheat and get gameplay. And I wanted to do this video as sort of like a follow-up video to the previous one I made on this topic to go just a little bit more in depth on what the Cronus Max is and what it actually does and is capable of doing. Now, the reason being is I feel there is a lot of misinformation about this particular device. So I wanted to take some time to sort of clear the air and basically explain what this device does and essentially how it
Look at
works.
some of these videos are 3 years
big
old
disclaimer
about this thing.
before we get started is that
I'm sure from 3 years ago, there's not a bigger population using this device.
I do not condone cheating in multiplayer games, and this video is not intended to promote the use of cheating devices or mods. This is purely for educational purposes,
And I'm also doing this as educational purposes. I'm not condoning cheating in any way, shape, or form. If you're a cheater, well, fuck you.
I want to make that very clear. Also, I did want to try to emulate some visual examples of how certain mods can be used to cheat in Call of Duty, but I'm pretty sure that doing so would technically be a violation of Activision terms of service because it's technically cheating and exploiting, and I could be wrong, but I really just don't want to take that chance. So if you want some visual examples of everything I'm talking about in this video, literally all you have to do is go to YouTube and search Cronus Max Anti-Recoil or Cronus Max Aim Assist, and you will see tons and tons and tons of videos showing comparisons, tutorials, examples, and whatnot. So feel free to go down that rabbit hole if you want. But the purpose of this video is really just to set the record straight and explain what these devices are capable of and what they are not capable of doing. So first
But he's not showing it. He's just telling us, which is good.
off, what is the Cronus Max?
What is it? Let me know what it is.
Well, simply put, it is a USB modding device that connects between your gaming controller or keyboard and mouse and to your gaming console or PC. So here's a visual example of what that looks like. Now, the Cronus Max.
You're right. People on television sets would never use something like that. Be unheard of. They're like, I gotta connect a USB device to my cable between my console and
has a
the
lot
device.
of very practical uses, but it sort of gets a bad rap for being known as a cheating device, and we'll talk more about that here in a bit. But some of the more practical uses are, number one, utilizing third-party controllers for crossplay on console. So let's say you want to use a PS4 controller with the Xbox One. The Cronus Max lets you do that pretty much seamlessly. Same with steering wheels, DDR mats, really whatever controller or input method that you want to use.
oh wait, I can use my steering wheel from my PC on my console if I use this? Well, I might be in the market to get this then.
The Cronus Max will let you do that. Now, keyboard and mouse support for console is another use for the Cronus Max, and it does so in a way where the console thinks you're using a controller.
Stealth keyboard and mouse. Yeah. No, who wants to play keyboard and mouse?
But in reality, you are using a keyboard and mouse, so it's a bit sneaky. Another big one is before there was actual USB support for communication on the PS4, like a wired controller connection. Pros were using the Cronus Max at tournaments to play on a wired connection because PS4s were freaking out about having so many Bluetooth controllers in one room. So that's the story on that. Next is button remapping and macros. So let's say you're playing a fighting game and you want to do a combo move. Well, instead of actually performing that
Button remapping? Oh, man. You mean like a Street Fighter game and when you're playing on multiplayer and you're playing other people and you're just owning them because you're on macros?
combo move yourself, you can just simply map that combo or button sequence to one button and it makes it easier. And lastly are the mods and scripts. This is probably the most interesting one, but a couple examples of mods and scripts specifically for Call of Duty are number one, anti-recoil mod, and I would say this is
Recoil mod.
probably the most practical of any mod for Call of Duty games, but it basically allows the Cronus Max to automatically pull down on your right thumbstick when you're firing your weapon to help counter recoil with weapons. There's also variations of this mod that are more useful for snipers, like you hold your breath as soon as you aim, which is sort of like a button macro. And then there's aim assist mod, which I would say isn't really practical for Call of Duty because Call of Duty already has aim assist on console. But basically how it works is it creates artificial ADS slowdown and idle sway control whenever you are aiming down sight. Last but not least is going to be jitter mod, or rapid fire mod is what it's called. But
And these are all cheating methods. Okay, I know they're looking at it going, oh well, I'm not using it for the anti-recoil or sniper breathing, the aim assist mod, the jitter mod, the rapid fire. I'm just using it for the USB support or whatever. But they have a device and it does these things.
essentially, the way it works is it utilizes a button sequence or button spamming sequence to make semi-auto weapons shoot quicker or have like rapid fire functions. And these exploits usually get patched relatively quickly by developers. If you haven't seen this before, just go to YouTube and search jitter mod, and you'll get about 10 pages of what this looks like. But it's really popular, and it's probably the most prominent use for the Cronus Max if you're going to be modding, essentially. So a couple points from this are that the Cronus Max isn't just used for cheating and exploiting their...
Of course not. A knife is also not used for a murder weapon. It's used to cutting vegetables and food and meats. Okay? But it can also be used for a murder weapon.
There are practical uses for this, especially for people who either have disabilities or have missing fingers or just don't want to use a certain controller on console. So I probably wouldn't go as far to say that if you own one of these devices that you are a cheater. It really just depends on what you're using it for and what the circumstance is, I guess is the best way to explain it.
Yeah, Roadkill comes in. We got a crazy chat today, boys. I'm the referee. Ding, ding.
Whew, okay, so now let's talk about what the Cronus Max is not. We know what it does, but what is it not capable of? Well, contrary to what you may have heard...
No, don't move the goalpost now, Chris. Right? Now that you're saying that the hacks that PC players use does not compare to how little the Chronos does. Stop it. Okay? First you said there was no cheating going on or less cheating going on. But now that we're showing you what it does, now you're saying, well, it's worse cheats over here. Cheating is cheating. Period. Done. End of story.
Or have been told or have seen, but the Cronus Max is not a hacking device. The Cronus Max does not actually change the code or the dynamic of the game that you're playing. So for example, the Cronus Max cannot change the recoil variables of your gun, but it can be programmed to pull down on your right thumbstick when you ADS or fire. Same with aim assist. The Cronus Max cannot enable auto aim or hacks or strengthen aim assist mechanics within the game's code, but it can simulate controller movements to create slowdown effects or idle sway control whenever you ADS or fire your weapon. Okay, so now let's talk about a very popular question, and that is, why are people not getting banned for using Cronus Max? Well,
because it can't be detected.
Simply put, is that games cannot detect Cronus users because your hardware basically sees the Cronus.
And when they can detect it, people just deny it. Right? They're like, you're cheating. They're like, nah. No, I'm not.
Party controller.
Get good, bro. Get good.
And since this device technically doesn't hack the game, the automated systems in place of issuing bans cannot make any kind of reasonable judgment or determination. And even if gameplay was being manually reviewed by a human being, in most cases, it's actually very difficult to determine if someone is a Cronus user unless they're using an obvious...
Right. They can't tell you're cheating, so it's not cheating. Right. Oh, by the way.
Oh, where I land, I do not know. But here I fall down the rabbit's hole.
Jitter mod, and they're just sitting there rapid firing their sniper rifle. But mods like aim assist and anti-recoil are pretty much impossible to detect when they're tuned correctly. And the problem is that
But it's
a
not
lot of the
cheating.
videos on YouTube show off aim assist scripts that are pretty obvious because they're not actually tuned properly for the game they're playing or the settings that they're
Technically, not hacking. Technically.
using within game. So lastly, because I know I'm going to get this question in the comments, and that is, what do I think about the Cronus Max, and do I use mods myself? The short answer is no, and the reason, aside from the whole ethical cheating argument, are that regardless of what settings that you use with this thing, whether if it's tournament mode or whatever, there is still a noticeable amount of input delay on the PS4 that creates a lot of inconsistency for someone who is already a pretty good player and doesn't need something like this to try to do well.
Just to let you know,
video game.
This video is 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Okay. And in his video, looking at other people using this device from 3 years before that. That's 8 years. Do we think the technology has gotten better over the last 8 years for this device? I don't know. Maybe. Let me take his video and put it here because I like putting the sources in my videos here. Is this him? Yeah. If you want to go watch this video, give it a like. It's in the description down below. Z says 10 players on console, 100,000 on PC, so PC has more. Duh, 30. Talking percent. We will never know. Exactly, Z. Ron says, thankfully, Concord cracked down and removed all cheaters from his game. Point for you, Ron. Point for you. Point for you. That's one point. I gotta get like a point system. The new devices are better and doing more. I would hope so in 8 years, right? In 8 years' time, the amount of technology has changed. I'm sure they do much better things now, Argus. Is Redfall still alive? Sure is. Yep. Still there. Still there. All right. Let's go to the next story. Next story is that Disney bullies theaters, forcing Mufasa and more theaters than Sonic 3, even as Hedgehog earns far more. Now, Travis asked this in the very beginning. You know, isn't this the theater's problem and not Disney's problem? Sure, right? If the mafia comes over to me and says, "Hey, if you're selling this thing on our turf, I'm going to break your legs," and obviously that's my problem. You're absolutely right. My problem is, well, if I sell the thing, I'm going to get my legs broken. That's not the mafia's problem. That's my problem, right? Of course it's my problem. Sarcasm. Okay, so let's read this. If you guys like what I do here, we read articles, have conversations. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Disney bullies theaters, forcing Mufasa and other more theaters than Sonic 3, even though the Hedgehog is earning more money. As the holiday season unfolds, the cinematic landscape reveals a familiar pattern. Disney flexing its box office muscles by dominating theater allocations. However, this year brings an unusual twist as Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has emerged as the unexpected box office leader for the media analysts, but not for normie, despite being hindered by Disney's theater allocation tactics. Okay, when you have, again, this is going back 20 years now. Okay, over 20 years, like 22 years. Okay, when I used to work in the movie theater industry, okay, when I worked in the theater, Disney would say, if you want our movies in your box office, then you have to have it into the theater for so long, and you have to have it in so many theaters. And on top of that, if they brought their blockbuster movie in, you would also have to take their smaller films, and they would take over the majority of the theaters. So if you had a movie theater that had like a megaplex that had like 20 theaters, Disney films could be taking over half of that. Okay, half of that. And on top of that, they have to be in the biggest theaters, or they have to be in certain theaters. And they do this on purpose to stop the competitors from coming in, because even if they come into the theater, they're in the smaller theaters, so they would make smaller amounts of money per theater, because obviously a movie's a movie. So if it's a 2-hour runtime, that theater for 100 seats can only be filled a couple times a day. So you can't have multiple theaters with it, right? In that same plaza. So Disney approaches to holiday release as long as relied on scrutiny of the widest possible theater's footprint. The strategy ensures that the films are accessible to the broadest audience, squeezing out competitors. Historically, the tactics has been highly effective. Right? This is way back when, in the early 2000s, this is how it was. Okay? In 1999, Toy Story 2 dominated Thanksgiving weekend in record-breaking release in 3,236 theaters, setting a precedent of Disney's future holiday campaigns. More recently, Moana 2 debuted in a staggering 4,200 theaters during Thanksgiving of 2024, grossing $221 million in 5 days, contributing to the highest-grossing Thanksgiving weekend on record. If you put it out in the most places, you're going to get the biggest, hopefully, get the biggest box office, because you're covering the biggest, broadest area, and you're not letting anyone else in. You're knocking out the competition. The difference between like a movie theater and like a game, both games releasing at the same time, right? If like a Grand Theft Auto released the same time as another game, you could still download that game. They're not stopping you from downloading that game, right? Your time is your time. But in the theater, that space is for that movie. So it's only that thing, and only that can be shown. And if that's taking up both big theaters and a megaplex, and it's running 4 times in each theater, well, no one else can come in the next weekend, because in their contract, Disney says you have to have our theater in theaters for, back in the day, it was like 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it was. And the longer it stayed in the theaters, the more money the movie theater would make, but they would also make less money because less people would go to see it as the weeks progress, right? This is why 90% of the money is made in the first 2 weeks, okay? So it says Disney controlled over theater allocation not only boosts revenue, but also limits the availability of screens for competing films, particularly during lucrative holiday season. Despite Disney's dominance, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has emerged or managed to outpace the competition at the box office, ranking in more than $60 million in the opening weekend, and scrutiny the top spot North America, yet its successful is overshadowed by significant limitations in ability to expand its theater count. Right, so all this means is that less people are seeing the Disney movies, so there's less people per theater watching the Disney movies, and movie theaters can't put more Sonic movies in because Disney's taking up the spot, so there's dead space in the theaters, right? So the movie theater can't even put the popular movies, more theaters in their theater, because they're under contract with Disney, and Disney's like, nope, you got to keep it there, right? So Disney's still making money off of their, but they're less per square foot of the theater, where Sonic is packed houses, and this is why they're beating in their opening weekend and whatnot to other films. Currently showing in 3,769 locations, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 faces a bottleneck cause of a contractual obligation many theaters have with Disney for Mufasa, the Lion King. While Sonic 3 has provided far more revenue per theater, the total count of screens added for Sonic 3 from the first week is to second with the staggering 8. Okay, that's it. From the first week to the second week, they only raised how many theaters opened up to 8 more theaters across the entire world. Yes, 8 additional screens in the entire nation. Disney's agreements often stipulate extends runs in high number of theaters, leaving little room for other blockbusters to increase their reach, despite being the second highest earner this season. Mufasa continues to occupy 4,100 locations, effectively stifling Sonic's ability to capitalize on its box office momentum. The scenario highlights the broader implications of Disney's theater saturation strategy. While the tactics maximize Disney's box office return, it also reshapes the competitive dynamic of the holiday season. Films like Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which might otherwise expand their footprint to meet audience demand, are constrained by the lack of available screens. Theaters, to face the dilemma, Disney films often come with guarantees of high audience turnout, making them safer bet for exhibitors. Right. So obviously, a couple years ago, when Disney came out with a movie, right? Like, think about it as a theater. Even though the Star Wars movies weren't as beloved, okay, they still broke $1 billion, each one of them, okay? And imagine being a theater owner or a corporation of a theater, and you didn't run any of the Star Wars films, right? You would miss out on all that money from the snack bar that people came into and all the other things that they do because you didn't want to put, right? When you are the majority of, when you're the monopoly, when you're the bigger fish in the pond where you can eat the other guppies in the water, you set the price, you set the standard, you set what it is. So Disney is pushing their weight around. Even though their movies are not as popular now, they still have, well, they had, I don't know what they have now, I'd have to look it up. They had the most amount of movies out. And because they're the leader, they set the terms, and everyone else just falls in line, because if you want to make money in your theater business, you have to have Disney films in your theater, okay? However, the resilience of Disney can lead to the reduced diversity in movie offerings, limiting choices for moviegoers and opportunities for competing studios. The recent past is starting to have some AMC and Regal reconsider their House of Mouse relationships. I told you what I would do if I owned a theater. It would be a small theater, and I would do limited runs. So if a new movie came out, it would be in that theater, in all the theaters. If I had a 4-theater movie theater, I wouldn't do a multiplex, right? One, I would only do a certain amount of theaters, like 4, maybe 6. It would be really small, 4, okay? And let's say Mufasa came out the opening weekend. Mufasa would be in all the theaters. That's it. People come to the theater. Then the following week, if the next movie comes out, then you're putting the next brand new movie out. You don't keep it in the long runs. That's what I would do in a small theater, right? Try to make it a little different than keeping a movie in the theaters for 13 weeks in my theater, where it's knocking out the other movies that people might be interested in, okay? As Sonic the Hedgehog 3 continues to thrive against the odds, it succeeds, raises questions about the sustainability of Disney's dominance. Can other studios find ways to break through Disney's theater stronghold, or will the mouse continue to dictate the rules of the game during peak seasons? The strange case of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 at the box office leader, constrained by theater availability, underscores the evolving challenges of the market dominated by a single powerhouse. It remains to be seen whether or not remarks begins to shift in the holiday box office dynamics, or fleeting anomaly in Disney's region. So, in my opinion, what would happen here, if the theaters wanted to, in the future, let's say this holiday season in 2025, all of a sudden the next movie comes out that Disney's putting out. The theaters would have to say, yeah, if you're coming out in November, then you're in the main theater for 2 weeks, and that's it. Then we're pushing you out, or we're moving you into a smaller theater. They can't sign these long-term deals where they have the biggest theater in these megaplexes for the longest period of time. They have to start shifting them over to either the smallest theater or get it out of the theater completely. Now, this would be a big move from the theaters, in my perspective, because obviously they want to make money. And if they're, it's a gamble, right? It's like, what movie is going to do good? What movie is going to do bad? You don't know, right? Sonic, they might have thought was going to do worse. So this is why they didn't want to put it in their theater. But now it's making a lot of money, and now they want the buzz. They're like, yeah, we'll put it in our big theater because there's interest. There's got to be different ways that the movie theater has to try to circumvent what Disney's trying to do, okay? By just bullying people, by saying that we have this whole main stage and you're shit out of luck. Okay, if there's 20 theaters and they have 10 of the theaters, not 10 with just the one movie, but 10 theaters of the 20 theaters of just 3 different Disney, right? There's a shit ton of Disney movies out. Not all the movies that you think of, the big, like Moana, there's other smaller films made by Disney that are in the smaller theaters. And then there's the big blockbusters that take up the bigger theaters. So theaters themselves have to stand up for themselves. They can't sign the long-term contracts with Disney, and there's going to be a battle going on to see who can stay in the theaters longer or less, because just 2 years ago, they signed a deal where it's 17 days, like Wicked just came out, and 4 weeks later, you can rent it. It came out yesterday, where you can rent Wicked now for it's like $30, $20, whatever it is to rent it. Okay, so they have to adapt and change and stop doing this whole little dance with Disney where they control their whole aspect of the business. But these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Travis says, Disney puts out one good film a year, yet they can afford to lose the insane amount of money. No, they put a lot more money, more pictures out than you think of, Travis. They do at least 10 films, if not more, a year. Remember, the ratio is 10 movies, 3 will make money, 1 will be a blockbuster, and the 7 of them will be an absolute wash, right? One good one. Yeah, but that's just it. The one good film makes up for the other 9 films that are not good. You see what I'm saying? The failed Star Wars movie that made a 1.2 billion and 2.1 billion or whatever the hell it was for each of those movies, it went down and down each one. That made up for the other 9 movies that came out in the theater that lost money or broke even or just barely made money. That's all you need is one good movie. It's a numbers game. Just like anything else. If I went up to 10 different people and asked them out on a date, one of them only has to say yes to make me feel good, right? Right? And if they all say, then it's a number game. Then you go to 11. Then you go to 12. Okay? That's all it is, right? And when you have as many films as they have and they put it out, okay, like let me see how many movies Disney put out this year. Let's see. There are several Disney Pixar movies scheduled for release in 2024, including Moana, Mufasa, Inside Out 2, Snow White, but that got pushed back. Elio, Tron, Areas 2025. These all got pushed back. I need to see a list of, because they don't show. Okay, here you go. So they came out with multiple movies in 2024. Okay, distributed right by Disney. Okay, they came out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 movies. 23 movies. Now let's go back to see which movies made money for them, okay, that we know of publicly, okay? We have Inside Out 2, which made a shit ton of money. We have Deadpool and Wolverine that made a shit ton of money. And we have Moana 2, which made good money, okay? Mufasa's out now. So, 23 films, and I know that 3 of them made a shit ton of money. Made their money back, made way more money, okay? That made up for all the other ones that they lost money. Okay? I'm sure there's a couple other ones in here that made money. Okay? But they released 23 films, right? And then next year coming up, okay, they have Captain America, they have Snow White, okay? They have Thunderbolts, they have Lilo and Stitch, they have the Fantastic Four, right? They own 20th Century Fox, remember that, okay? They have the Badlands coming out, Zootopia 2. Okay. Avengers Doomsday comes out in 2026, right? They already have, that we know of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 movies coming out next year. One of those movies has to make money for them, and they cover their ass. And if you look at this, right? Look at this for a second. Captain America comes out in February. Okay. So it comes out in February. Let's say it has to stay in theaters 8 weeks. 8 weeks, and they sign a contract. The production company says in the theaters, you have to have your movie in the big screens, okay, the major theaters for the first 3 weeks. Okay. I would have to look at a chart on what they do, but here you have February. Okay. Well, February 14th, 4 weeks later, you have Snow White. So get this now. You have to have, if you want Captain America, you have to take Snow White. Okay? And if you take Snow White, you have to put Snow White in the same theater, in the big theaters. So February comes out, Captain America is in the big theaters. So let's say you own a megaplex, 20 theaters. Your 4 big theaters in the middle of the auditorium, okay, or the building, are now showing Brave New World for 4 weeks. And then all of a sudden, all the other movies that come out that week for the next 4 weeks, never in the big theaters. And then all of a sudden, the next big movie comes out, which is Snow White. Snow White comes out, and then now that takes the place. So now Brave New World moves into the smaller theaters, Snow White moves into the bigger theaters, and then rinse and repeat, right? The next one comes out. All right, well, that stays in the theaters for 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Well, that gets you to the beginning of May, okay? Well, now Thunderbolts comes in. Well, now you take Thunderbolts, you put them in the big theater, and you move that. Do you see that? Do you see how it starts to fall? Right? Do you see how it starts to fall? And this is recycle, just rinse and repeat, because Thunderbolts is here, and they don't think Thunderbolts is going to be that good. Hence why they're releasing Lilo and Stitch just a couple of weeks right after in May. May's a big time, summer blockbuster and whatnot, so they're going to do that, right? And then May, okay, well, we have a 1-2 combo. We have Thunderbolts and Lilo and Stitch, and then boom, we're bringing this in, right? You have the new Pixar movie coming in June, and then you have July coming in with Fantastic Four. Do you see how it works? This is a multi-billion-dollar business, and Walt Disney controls the theaters, right? And we had a conversation just a couple months ago, or it's probably like over a year ago now, but we were talking about how there used to be a rule where theaters couldn't be owned by the distributor, okay? But now they can, right? Now they can. So now Disney can own theaters. Netflix owns theaters, right? All of these companies that made the stuff now own the properties that they actually go to. So now certain locations, obviously there's an AMC located on Disney property in Disney Springs. What movies do you think they show the most? They show all movies, but what do you think gets preferential treatment, right? So this is a big thing that obviously this is almost the same type of thing. Like, you probably don't give a shit as a customer. You just showing up to the theater and being like, I just want to watch a movie. Just like microtransactions and the chrono tokens and all this other shit. You're like, it's not a big deal, right? I'm just going to play the game and have fun. I'm just going to go to the movies and have fun. But behind the scenes, there's a huge thing going on where Disney's basically the mob, right? They're controlling the theaters based on what they're coming out with and putting in the theaters. And it's hurting the business because if their movies fail, then the theaters fail, right? They're linked together because they're being constrained. They have the theaters have a ball and chain locked to them, right? And the ball and chain is Disney. And if Disney succeeds, then they succeed. If Disney doesn't succeed, well, then they don't succeed because they're being pushed out. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Disney's monopoly. Let's quit lying to ourselves. Of course they are. Here's the thing. A monopoly on paper is that you own, a high percentage, 90%, right? 100%, right? But really, you can control the market by only having 33.3%, right? If you have the majority over everybody else and you're the leader of it, you could control everybody else, right? So all these other companies get pushed out because of their contracts and whatnot with the theaters. Eclipse said something. He says, have you seen that the like to dislike ratio of Snow White is just wow? I did not know it was that bad. What is it? Is it pretty much, I think it's like 1.6 million dislikes. Holy Christ. What's the like ratio? No, right, Travis. What I'm saying is everyone thinks a monopoly is like a 90, 95, 100%, like 99%. They're like, oh, that's a monopoly. No, all you have to do is have more control of everybody else and you have the monopoly, right? When you play Monopoly, you don't have to own the whole board. But if I own two sides, I'm gonna slowly drain you because you might own the railroads, okay? But I own Park Place and all the things around it. So you're like, I'm staying alive. Oh, I landed on your spot. Here's your money. But then you have to hit hit it, hit it, hit it, and I drain you. And that is what Disney's doing. Monopoly isn't owning all the board, but if you own all the railroads, you're fucked. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, even those small properties. The Monopoly, the way you want to play Monopoly is you want to own a strip, right? Because the likelihood of them skipping by, you want to get a strip and a little bit past the corner so they always land on you. You know what I mean? You don't play Monopoly anymore. It ends friendships and relationships. So that is story number 2. The next thing I want to watch is another video from Laura Fryer. Okay. She made this video about 8 months ago. Okay. It only has 26,000 views. I think it's actually she got more, but her channel wasn't as big back then when she made this video over what she makes now. Okay. It's called The Chainsaw Hoax. Okay. I started watching this a little bit. I watched about the first 2 minutes and I was like, oh, remember yesterday or 2 days ago when we watched our other video? And I said, I thought it was weird that they videotaped their conference, like when they were in the boardroom. I was like, that's weird that they recorded that. I was like, that's pretty interesting that they recorded that. Well, I found out it was like a documentary. It's like a reality show that they made behind the scenes of Gears. Okay. It's like the Road to E3 or something like that. And I was like, oh, that makes sense now why they recorded that stuff. Well, she goes into it because she was the bad guy in this drama that they created in this reality thing, because it was talking about the chainsaw and how she said that the chainsaw shouldn't be in Gears of War, even though she didn't say that. So that's the video we're going to watch, and I'm going to comment on it because it's talking about a documentary that was behind the scenes and what really happened. And I could tell you from firsthand, not from this particular show, but I worked on one of the most popular reality shows in the world back in the day with Hogan Knows Best. Okay. I know the ins and outs of reality TV. I know exactly what they do. Okay. And how they get away with stuff, how they Frankenbite stuff together, how they make drama. Okay. So I'm going to give you my insight on what she says in the rest of this video, because I only watched the first 2 minutes. So that's what we're going to do this morning. If you guys like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. And let's do this.
And left to join WB Games. It's my first day on the job. I'm in the elevator at Monolith.
Isn't that loud enough?
Teammates asked me
she's got a
why I
soft.
tried to cut the chainsaw from Gears of War. Fast forward, I launched my YouTube channel. And
Here, let me restart it.
In 2008, I shipped Gears of War 2 and left to join WB Games. It's my first day on the job. I'm in the elevator at Monolith, and one of my new teammates asked me why I tried to cut the chainsaw from Gears of War. Fast forward, I launched my YouTube channel, and here we are again. Yes, I'm Laura, the supervillain from the Race to E3.
Now, does she look like a supervillain? I said yesterday or 2 days ago, I was like, she seems pretty like down to earth. Like she's cool and collect. She doesn't get like flustered, right? And then this video, I see it. I'm like, no shit. I was like, she was the villain, and I was like, what is this?
Except I'm not, because none of it actually happened. The Race to E3 was a reality TV show, a marketing stunt to get Xbox fans
Gears of War, The Race to E3.
excited about Gears, and it worked. Unfortunately, it created a little cloud, a lie that has followed me around for 18 years. I get it. People are fooled by hoaxes all the time, even in today's world where it's pretty easy to go figure out what someone actually said or did.
Well, now it's a little bit more difficult, right? Now it's a little bit more difficult because of the way the world is. Okay.
But I think it's time to set the record straight, hopefully for the last time. Let's dive into what really happened. First, a little context. For those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about, this is the Lancer, the signature weapon of Gears of War, and
It is a badass weapon, huh? That is a badass weapon.
the place where the
There has to be a gun like that in real life, right? Someone created this thing in real life now. Come on. What are we doing?
Chainsaw Hoax begins. I think Arthur, in the Gears of War retrospective, sums it up pretty well. It was the quintessential David versus Goliath story of a scrappy, independent group of artists triumphing over the corporate overlords at Microsoft and Xbox. It was also bullshit.
When you do reality TV, let me tell you, it's some of the most boring shit that you can actually work on. Like, you're there 10, 12, 14, 16-hour days sometimes. You record everything. Everything. Because there's no story going into it. The producer might say, "Hey, what are you doing today?" And they're like, "Oh, we're going down to the show floor." "Okay, we'll follow you and take the show floor." "Oh, we have a meeting today." "All right, we'll sit in with the meeting for you and we'll record it." And they record everything. They get the B-roll of everything. Then they get back to the edit, right? While the film crew is still filming, they're sending this back to not even editors. They're going back to transcribers, okay? And all the tapes back in then, okay, back in 2003, 2006, right? VHS tapes. They're filming on little tapes or digital stuff, and they're converting those to VHS tapes. Okay, and in the VHS tapes, there's a group of people, just like play testers, okay, sitting down and they're typing out every single word from every single person and every single whoever's on camera, and they record everything. Anyone off camera, whatever. So there's multiple cameras going on. Okay, and I don't know how this production went. I'm just telling you how it's usually done. Okay, so on Hogan Knows Best, we had 3 to 4 cameras, okay, constantly filming, right, popping back and forth, popping back and forth. If we miss something, right, the audio's there, and they'll type it. So now everything's in a Word spreadsheet, okay, an Excel sheet. So let's say Laura said, chainsaw here, something over here, I don't like. They Frankenbite stuff together and then put it together. So what you'll notice when you watch certain things, if they don't have the person actually on screen saying the actual thing, but they cut to someone else, like a B-roll shot, and then you hear the voice of that person, that's because they're pulling it and Frankenbiting it together. Okay, and if you guys don't understand what Frankenbite is, okay, basically they're taking words and putting it together. It's almost like what AI is doing right now. Okay, it's taking little words here and there, and you merge it together, and it sounds seamless that you don't even think it. You're like, oh yeah, she said it. She said it.
The year is 2006, and we're a few months from shipping Gears of War as an exclusive Xbox 360 title for holiday.
Microsoft has one punch to throw before the juggernaut of the PlayStation 3 launches, and Gears is that punch.
And this is another thing they do. So you see this right here. What they do,
to throw before the juggernaut.
They'll sit down with these interviewers like this, and when you're making a reality, okay, when you're making a reality show, they'll put stuff together. They'll start putting a story together. They'll start putting the plot point together. And they need them to say something. So now they put a list of questions together, okay? And then they'll sit down with the person, and they'll start asking them questions to see if they get that thing they need them to say, okay? So if he says something here and it's good on film, they'll put it on film. But if he says something not so good, but he can get it nice and clear, they can use this later in a different clip, but just the audio.
Juggernaut of the PlayStation 3 launches, and Gears is that punch.
Xbox has pulled out all the stops, and they're spending millions on this flagship title, including creating a reality TV show called The Race to E3.
Travis says, 30 question, was Hulk a huge racist even back then? No. Terry was like one of the nicest guys. Like, he's constantly in pain, right, because of all the stuff he's done, but he's a super nice guy. So
3. The idea was simple. Let's give our audience a sneak peek about what it's really like to work on Gears of War. The filmmakers would have full access. The laughter, the tears, the fights. They would have
boring.
a front seat to all of the drama. Nothing was off limits.
That is Rod Ferguson, by the way, who's the lead of Diablo at Blizzard now.
When marketing pitched the idea, I was really worried. We were working crazy hours, and we didn't need more drama. We needed focus. Good game producers reduce conflict. Reality TV shows, not so much.
No, reality TV shows want to make conflict. 100%. Look at the internet today. Look at the internet today and look at reality TV back in the day. See how it's evolved.
In the end, we decided it was worth it, and the crew set up at Epic. We wanted the focus to be on them. They were making the game, and we wanted them to be the heroes. So that's what happened. The movie crew put mics on all the key staff and in the conference rooms, and then waited for the inevitable disagreement to come up. Except that it didn't, because game development is not like reality TV.
Remember what I said the other day? Like, we were talking about how, what's the guy's Mark Hansen from Avowed? Like, he needs to be fired because he's bringing morale down. We watched her other video talking about, you know, how people are working together. When you're working on a team together, you have to coalesce. You're going to have problems, but you want to get along. You're all working on the same project. You're all trying to get to the same point, right? You're trying to be the best that you can do with the project that you're doing. So they're all working together. Their job as the production crew, they're like, now I'm going to speculate here. Back then, producers moved from reality shows to this, and certain people got jobs because of the juicy drama or whatever that went on in a reality show. But some people, this should be more of a doc series, not a reality show type of thing. You know what I mean? Like behind the scenes, not a try to make something. And I would assume that the producer of this video, not Laura Fryer, but the person that's making this documentary about the road to E3, I would have to find out who made this and then look at their background and what they came from and what kind of reality, or they were trying to move somewhere else to become that drama type of stuff.
As Rod said in 2019, I felt really bad for them because at Epic we had very, very, very minor conflict. We weren't a flip a table, slam a door place. I think there was one door slam in the entire original Gears of War situation. It was a problem. What could the production crew do? Create a reality TV show that wasn't dramatic? No, of course.
They shouldn't have made a reality TV show. They should have just made a documentary.
Of course they couldn't do that. So they started making things up. Like this.
I want to borrow the Lamborghini. Going.
I need to borrow your Lamborghini. Why? Why? Why would you need to borrow my Lamborghini? At least we know, what's his name, had a Lamborghini all the way back then.
Downtown
Tim
with some
Sweeney?
friends, and I kind of told them I had a cool car.
Wait a minute.
Going downtown with some friends, and I kind of told them I had a cool car.
A cool car. Yeah, I got 4 doors, 2 wheels. I love the fact that Tim Sweeney's like, I gotta let him drive my car for television.
I'll bring it back intact.
All right.
I heard that you can basically get up to 80 in first.
Yeah, don't
Tim Sweeney doesn't look like a Lamborghini kind of guy, but, you know.
do that.
Tim, I assure you she's in good hands. Open.
When it aired during E3 2006, Gears of War: The Race of E3 included a number of manufactured moments. They had to make up shit. Ferguson said they had to make up Cliff asking for Tim's permission to drive his car and fuck around with it. They scripted drama. Yeah, I 100% believe this without a doubt. We did this shit all the time. I hated it, but this is what it is.
Gently. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
But even that wasn't enough. They needed something more. They needed a villain. So they decided to come and film at Microsoft.
Right, because Microsoft, bad.
My name is Laura Fryer, and I'm an executive producer at Microsoft. My job is to really help make sure that all of the groups working on Gears of War are well coordinated.
I was surprised. I thought the movie crew was just trying to be nice.
Laura, let me tell you something. There are nice people working on the crew, but the people that are nice are not the producers of the show. Right? The camera guys, the lighting, the audio, we're just there, just like developers. We're just there showing up, doing our job, and we're doing what we're told. Okay? We're nice people, okay? But those fucking producers and directors, they are not. They are there to use and abuse you for their next thing. What have you done for me lately?
And grab a little B-roll footage of our team so that we felt included. I thought that because they had been filming at Epic for like 6 weeks, and then they showed up into our office and they spent about 4 hours.
And I'm gonna go off a little bit here because I think this is what happened. 6 weeks they recorded at Epic. They sat down, looked at all the footage, transcribed all the stuff, and the producer was like, "This is boring as shit. This is boring." They tried to make something that wasn't there, and they went, "You know what? Why don't we film at Microsoft and make them the bad guys, and let's make some drama." Imagine.
I didn't even think we would make the final show. I certainly had no idea that I was going to be the villain. But
You never do. You never do. And you sign a contract, and you say that you're giving your likeness and stuff, and they can do whatever they want with it. And then when it airs on TV, you see it, and you're like, what the
I was. They decided to take a minor disagreement and turn it into the chainsaw hoax. Let me explain what the actual disagreement was, and then we'll go behind the scenes to see how they manufactured their narrative. There were 2 things going on that they blended together in order to create their hoax.
What? Blend together? Say it ain't so, Laura.
The first was a disagreement over the trailer that we were putting together for E3.
For a time, the humans of Sarah knew the illusion of peace until Emergence Day.
Before every major event, most game companies will do a trailer to show off the game. The marketing team was working with Epic to put together the trailer, and as often happens with creative work, they had a disagreement specifically about the
Creative work, you're going to get disagreements all the time. Do this, we should do that. You have arguments on set on what potted plant they should put in the background or books on the shelf. Right? I don't like that color. It's distracting. Like, it's crazy. I actually saw one time, I won't tell you who it is. We were filming a commercial in Tampa of furniture, rooms to go furniture. A famous director, okay, worked as the director on this thing. The DP was talking back to him because of certain things, and the director and the cinematographer, the director of photography, got at it, and the director choked out the cinematographer, like the DP, director of photography, choked him out because of a disagreement on a furniture commercial. Now, this is way before smartphones and people could record shit, okay? There's some wild shit that's gone on set that I could tell you.
ending. Epic wanted this to be the final shot of the trailer. Microsoft wanted it to be this. Epic's
Dog says, some people like being choked.
perspective was that we should end with the signature weapon. This key moment was the perfect way to sell the
Way to identify yourself.
game. Microsoft's perspective was that they wanted...
Hold on, I gotta rewind this.
Epic's perspective was that we should end with the signature weapon. This key moment was the perfect way to sell the game. Microsoft's perspective was that they wanted a call to action at the end of the trailer. Simply put, Marcus is being overwhelmed. He needs your help. You should go buy the game and you can help him defeat the Locust Horde. That was the entire disagreement.
That makes sense, right? They didn't want this, right? They didn't want this spot as like the finishing touch. They wanted the
It was that we should end
he's by himself against a horror army and they need you, right?
with the signature. It was that they wanted a call to action at the end of the trailer. Simply put, Marcus is being overwhelmed. He needs your help. You should go buy the game and you can help him defeat the Locust Horde. That was the entire disagreement. Of course, none of it made it into the show. The second drama going on was that we were trying to get the Lancer to work in the E3 demo build, right? Everyone's going to...
I see where she's going with this. Okay. So what's happening? What's going on, Sarge? Happy New Year, right? I see what's happening. So the Lancer video, Microsoft saying we don't like the Lancer. We want this shot of Marcus fighting off the Horde. So they're going to take the we don't want the Lancer to then say they don't want the Lancer in the game.
To show up at E3, they're going to play the game, and we wanted that signature weapon in there. But that wasn't going well because we were behind.
There's some things that are open issues that we just need to like get decisions on, because I think multiplayer's got a ton of work to be done. Co-op wasn't functional as of 1 a.m. last night, and single player, there's some stuff we want to do in terms of VO and things like that that Nash is resistant against, that we need to make that decision, make that stuff happen in the next 4 hours. My biggest concerns leading up to E3.
Look, even back then, Rod Ferguson was working on games that were incomplete.
Sorry. Well, getting the demo done.
So we're going to have about 800 press go through this, and they're going to expect something that is ready to ship, right? I'd hate for everybody to say it was beautiful, but it really was lacking polish.
I think my job is on the line for Epic Games if we don't.
You know what? I think that's a good rule of thumb, right? I think when you work a job, thinking your job is always on the line is probably a good way to think about it. That means you always do your job.
Do well at this show.
It was a day-to-day debate on the team on whether or not we would be able to get it done. And that was the setup.
They murdered me. Reality TV star pushed back on producers' cheapest tricks. For years, shows have created sound bites and invented villains by editing audio in outrageous ways. The practice known as frankenbiting has hurt people on both sides of the camera. This is, again, and this is an article written in July 8th of 2021. I lived this for 20 years.
That created the chainsaw hoax. They took a disagreement about the trailer and the discussion regarding the E3 game demo, and they...
If you don't actually see their mouths moving while they say it, there's a good chance that it actually frankenbitten edited in certain ways, she explained. I'm telling you, chat, I could go into the depths of hell of what reality shows are. They are the lowest. I would rather work on porn. Okay? I'm being honest to you. I would feel better about myself if I worked for a porno than reality shows back in the day.
turned it into Laura tried to cut the chainsaw from the game. Most people know that editors have been using tricks for years to create the narrative they want.
A journalist, a former producer herself, who over the course of her 6 seasons on a show earned the reputation of calling out producers' manipulation and resisting manufactured drama. On the show, she says producers regularly panned the camera away from her face while shooting, then cut in the audio from other scenes to serve the storyline. Amazing.
By taking these two issues and blending them using audio edits and cutaways, they created the hoax. Remember, 18 years ago, YouTube and the other social media platforms were just getting started.
Yeah, they didn't have this. You didn't know about this.
It was difficult to go and figure out that a lot of the reality TV shows,
to this day, you still don't know what's manufactured or whatnot.
And news stories that you were seeing were actually fake. Today, you have resources to verify things for yourself. Let's break things down by reviewing some of the key clips from the show.
This is going to be good. This is going to be good.
To see exactly how they created the hoax.
I already told you how they did it, right? I told you the punchline before they did it.
Set up this shot. This is a meeting with the publishing leads at Microsoft at that time. You have Bonnie, who is my boss, and you have Kevin, the art lead. We're talking about the trailer and the process around approvals. That is what this entire conversation was about. Let's take a look.
They probably had 2 cameras, maybe 3. They probably had 2 guys. Maybe the producer had the 3rd camera. Okay, one's getting tight shots, one's getting wide shots, one's getting punch-ins and whatnot.
We've had a lot of back and forth with Epic. I think we have a pretty good approval. The only big issue still outstanding is Rod and Epic still want the chainsaw. So
Maybe they had one. Maybe they had one. He's just punching in.
work on that, but yeah.
Rod and Epic still want the chainsaw as the last shot. Let me rewind this for a second.
Forth with Epic, I think we have a pretty good
Here comes the cutaway.
approval. The only big issue still outstanding.
They cut from me to the team and clip my sentence. See what I'm saying? If she's saying the thing on screen, then she said it. If she's saying the thing off a screen, she said it, but they're frankenbiting it together to make her look like she's saying what you want or what they want you to think she said.
Is Rod and Epic still want the chainsaw? So I'm going to work on that. But yeah.
The next clip is from the playtest lab at Microsoft. We had just gotten the latest build for E3 and we were playtesting it and we found a bug.
You know what the shitty part is? The producer did this. the producer of this documentary or this show was a scumbag. Because they're like, how do we make drama from this? How do we make this person look bad so we can get good ratings?
I just got paused.
It started. Hopefully we're all in.
Was that it?
I think they dropped in the chainsaw again, and I think it was the chainsaw blood spray that you were seeing. We'll just say a gratuitous amount of blood.
It is vitally important that that one gets fixed.
Yeah, I suspect that one will be fixed. We'll get that one logged in as soon as we get
It's low. I can't make it any louder. I'm trying to stay quiet so you guys can hear it.
back, because like they said, Epic feels that the chainsaw is a good representation of what Gears kind of represents.
The bug that was found during the
Okay, particle emitters can be used to display a large number of small particles. They can be used to simulate effects in the game. A few examples of particle emitters, fire, explosion, smoke, and dust.
playtest was a broken particle emitter. The emitter was supposed to turn on and have blood going when you went and you chainsawed a locust. Fortunately, it was on all the time, so there was blood spewing everywhere. Of course, that looks like a bug, and it makes it really hard to see what you're doing if you're the player, so we had to fix that for E3. It's not unusual when you're moving fast and getting ready for E3 to find bugs like this. In this net,
you also got to remember they're trying to get rid of they're getting ready for E3 for a demo of the game. They're still working on the game, but they're trying to get something together, which is now taking a team away from the game just to get a small portion of the game to look great for the promotional stuff, right? So that's more pressure on top of them.
next clip, they're taking two conversations and blending them together through cutaways. Rod is talking about the demo in the beginning, and then they cut to the phone and clip in an entirely different part of the call where we're talking about the trailer.
We made today that affects gameplay is that we need to get the chainsaw attack in. So we basically have made a priority decision that we're prioritizing the chainsaw attack over grenades and over pistol. It's what makes Gears, and we need to have that moment at E3.
Peter Moore not fine with the chainsaw.
Well, I guess Peter Moore's contention about the saw is that it's a little...
They literally took the line from what you just saw before, and they put a filter on it like they were on the fucking phone. Do you see how they manipulate what is actually happening? And obviously, as the viewer, you don't care. And because you hear it and see it, you're like, you said it. You said it. You're a liar.
You know, over the top gory.
That's exactly what the kind of branding we were going for, I thought.
We understand that. So does Peter. That's not something that we can change at this point because the ship has already sailed. We were very concerned about the chainsaw. It gets kind of gratuitous.
By the way, this is the trademark weapon for the game. This is going to be in the demo.
See, now look from an editing perspective. Okay, the editing perspective is they have the B-roll here. They made the story here.
Concerned about the chainsaw.
Okay, so two ways that happen now. When they go to this shot, he's wearing a different shirt, so it's a different day. Okay, and or they would tell him, hey, I need you to switch into the shirt that you wore this thing. Okay, it's not a big deal. We'll just put you here. So this is a different day. And now because in the edit, they already know what the plot is. Now they're asking Ferguson here to, they're trying to get something out of him, right? They're trying to bait him into saying something that they can link to it. And they'll ask it a couple different ways. They're like, oh, well, you know, well, what does the Lancer mean to the game? And then he'll say what it is. Or do you think that Microsoft wants the Lancer in the game? Like, they're going to try to get whatever he says. And then Frankenbite that later. When he says it, if he's not on screen, he's saying it, it's Frankenbiting it.
It gets kind of gratuitous.
By the way, this is the trademark weapon for the game. This is going to be in the demo. This is the way that Epic wants to convey this intimate violence in the game, and that's why we feel really strongly to have an assault rifle with...
Why do they punch in there?
This intimate violence in the game, and that's why we feel really strongly to have an assault rifle.
Do you see the cut that they just did there? He didn't say it from that line that they asked. So then they asked another question to bait him into saying the thing, and then they piece it together.
With a chainsaw bayonet. I just don't feel like the right people are championing.
Do you see?
The message.
You have to wonder about something as you're watching all of this. If I had literally said we needed to cut the chainsaw from the game,
you would be on film saying it.
Don't you think someone would have that on video?
Yep.
I mean, that would have completely closed the deal and made the case. Well, I didn't say it because it never happened. And that is why they had to do all of these cutaways and all these tricks to try to make you believe something that never happened. Also, anytime you see me in this environment, that was at E3. By the time we went to E3, they had their hoax planned out. But they
See? Stick with me, chat. I will teach you the ways of the shitty manipulation that Hollywood does. I could tell you stuff they do on films. I could tell you stuff they do on reality TV shows. I could tell you stuff what they do in commercials.
They needed more footage to land it. So by asking the right questions of all of the people at E3, they were able to tie everything together and create their hoax. In this next shot, we're talking about the two.
And here's another thing. Watch how slow when Rod, like, let me rewind it for a second. When you see him, oh wait, is that too far?
Something. By the time we went to E3, I think someone,
yeah, this part right here, right? Quick cuts. Slow this one down because it was a quick shot. They're like, well, do we have that shot of Ferguson where he looks upset about something? He could be tired. This could be at like 1 a.m. in the morning, and he's just fucking beat, right? Slow motion.
Yeah.
Make it drawn out.
Never happened. And that is why they had to do all of these cutaways and all these tricks to try to make you believe something that never happened. Also, anytime you see me in this environment, that was at E3. By the time we went to E3, they had their hoax planned out, but they needed more footage to land it. So by asking the right questions of all of the people at E3, they were able to tie everything together and create their hoax. In this next shot, we're talking about the two issues around the trailer and around the demo. And of course, they both focus on the chainsaw.
Chainsaw is really important to Epic because they consider it the feature weapon in their game. And
You got to remember, at the time, she doesn't know what they're doing. She thinks she's bright-eyed, bunny-tailed, you know what I mean? Like, she's like, okay, you need me to answer the question? Yeah, I'll answer the question for you. And then once she sees the footage at the end, once it airs, she's like, these sons of bitches.
And so for them, they really wanted to show that and have people remember that. So Rod and Epic still want the chainsaw. So
And Tim as well.
Are you cool with that, though?
Well, I'm very cool with it.
We really do have to cut the chainsaw.
Yeah, I mean,
And I knew that was going to be a problem, but there you go.
That was a forced line.
So
And Tim as well.
Are you cool with that, though?
Well, I'm very cool with it.
We really do have to cut the chainsaw.
Yeah, I mean,
And I knew that was going to be a problem, but there you go.
Well, but
They're not cutting the chainsaw from the game. They're cutting the chainsaw because it wasn't working for the demo.
wait till it's done, because it's silly to try to cut it and say this will look really good when they're done. So
Hey, I need you guys to sit on the couch. You guys could sit here. You guys could sit here. Just have a conversation a little bit about what's happening at E3. Maybe you guys need to talk about
we know what you want.
what's happening with the chainsaw.
And I know it will make some people at Microsoft nervous because they don't have it in their hands, but it's not going to suck no matter what.
I've done it for so long. I can tell them sitting on the couch is forced because they're being asked to do something. And I'm going to ask a question because maybe in a long shot, Laura Fryer will watch this, okay? Because she watched one of the other videos I made, okay? I want to know, Laura, were you sat on this couch and told what to say at this moment, and was it forced? I know the way they're editing, but I want to know this actual conversation between you and him.
No.
Okay.
Microsoft, in the end of the day, they're a publisher who understands that it's about making a fun game. They understand the tension. Their job is to push, and our job is to pull, but we both respect that.
You see, when you're doing game development and you start having problems, you have to make hard decisions. And sometimes that means you have to do things like take the Lancer out until you can get it working.
We have a bad show at E3.
Yeah, she watched my video that we did like 3 weeks ago or whatever it was, Jones.
And it doesn't matter what we do in the next 4 months. No one's going to believe that the stinker of a game came out great and we got it out for holiday. If it sucks, we're dead.
This next clip is the final playtest at Epic where the chainsaw is finally working in the game. It's a huge moment of triumph. It's a great moment in the video. Let's watch.
I'm hoping everything's been pulled together for this final playtest. A lot of the things that were broken were relatively easy fixes, but as I've said before,
No, she didn't agree to an interview. She commented on the video. I asked her in the comment section, and if you would like to come on the show, but she's never replied back.
game development's a house of cards. Change one thing, change everything. It's either going to go great and we're going to be able to play it, or it's going to be a total cluster.
Guys, you gotta be able to use the shotgun when you're in close. Like, that's really annoying.
At E3, I would rather have journalists use the chainsaw too much than not enough.
It's a really cool moment in the Gears universe, grabbing that chainsaw and just ripping through someone. It's visceral, and that's what our games
This audio is like 20 years old, so it's really low.
are about. It's something that everybody's been wanting to do for a long time, and Cliff's been fighting for it, and it's awesome. I mean, Cliff was right. It's awesome.
I mean, you've got some serious polish issues, and you guys know that, but I think it's showable, which is, I mean, it's 100%.
Oh, wait, look at that. Is Ron... Is that the same shirt? What are we at? 13, 17? Hold on a second. Hey, look at that. What are the odds that Ron Ferguson is wearing the same shirt in this shot as this shot?
Games are about. It's something that everybody's been wanting to do
Huh.
for a long time, and Cliff's been fighting for it, and it's awesome. I mean, Cliff was right. It's awesome.
I mean, you've got some serious polish issues, and you guys know that, but I think it's showable, which is, I mean, it's 100% more playable than it was yesterday.
As Mike said, not everyone is convinced the Lancer as a weapon would work, and Cliff had to fight for that throughout game development. You see, when you start a game, you have a million, hey, wouldn't that be cool, ideas. You do. That's just how game development works. But you don't know something's going to make it and be great until you've actually done it.
Of course not. Hindsight's 2020. I mean, obviously, you can look back at it now and go, oh, yeah, it was genius.
And this brings us to the ending of the show, where Cliff has his moment of triumph on stage, and then they cut to me talking about creative differences making things better.
Epic delivered, Epic over-delivered. They did a great job for E3, and I think that creative difference, that conflict, is the way you get a better game. I love chainsawing people.
Can you say a line, Laura, about how you like chainsawing people?
I'm really happy with what we brought to the show. The demo that Cliff did, I think we definitely got across what we wanted to get across.
After the demo, they teed up Bill Gates at E3 to kind of close out the show.
This had to be hard. At that time, to get Bill Gates to show up on film, they probably, at that point, had to move the world to get him just to come on film for multiple seconds.
Show. I don't know what they actually said to Bill. They might have had him play the game. Maybe one of his nerds played it and kind of explained to him what was going on so he could...
Yeah, no, he didn't know anything that was going on.
Talk about the chainsaw. I don't know. But
he's like, who are you? What do you do? Oh, you make the video game. Oh, okay.
But I do think it turned out really well for closing out the hoax.
I love that chainsaw.
I had to fight for that. I had to fight for it, man. But it's like, it's a child.
Hold on a second. I think I just saw something in the bus. Hold on a second.
Talk about the chainsaw. I don't know.
Watch this guy
turned out really well for closing out the hoax.
The guy in the blue shirt right here. It looks like he's looking at his watch right now. Right? He's looking at his watch. Probably Bill Gates' assistant or someone that needs him somewhere. And watch him.
That chainsaw.
I had to fight for that. I had to fight for it, man. But it's like, it's a child.
He's walking in right there. He's like, we gotta go.
Chocolate and a peanut butter for me, right? It's like, it's a gun with a chainsaw, right? So it works out really well. So
how's it look for shipping this fall?
Can we get a line real fast? And how's it looking to ship this fall?
We'll make it happen.
Fantastic. We're counting on you.
Have a great show. It's great that everybody loved the demo, but now we have to ship the product. We got to get it done. And we got to nail it. Can I get a quick photo?
Sure.
So that was the show.
Yeah, quick photo, because I don't know who you are, and I'm never going to see you again. Thanks, Cliff.
I was sent a few clips of the show before it aired on TV. I remember it because I was visiting my parents that weekend and I wasn't able to download most of them. The FTP server and the login weren't working. My parents didn't have broadband yet. It was a mess. I really never saw the whole show before it released. When the show finally aired...
Well, it doesn't matter, Laura. Because even if you did, they weren't gonna change it. and that's the shitty part.
I was really shocked. It's not like someone had sat me down and said, hey, we're going to make you the villain of this reality TV show.
Nope.
Are you cool with it?
No, because you would say no. See, it's easier to do it and then ignore you after the fact.
So when it aired, I was so stunned that at first it didn't even dawn on me how bad it made me look. And my cope was that nobody would believe it. I know, crazy, but you have to understand. Everyone knew I loved playing games. This is me.
Trust me, Laura, I understand exactly what they did to you. And I hated every single second that I had to do it in reality TV because I was just there doing my job, getting a check.
With my boyfriend, now husband. We were about to play Dandy on this Atari 130XE in my parents' basement. Gaming is still our entertainment of choice. When Doom 2 released, we wanted to play through together, so we did, over a null modem. Except we didn't have a null modem, so we had to make it. The idea that I wouldn't like a
She's a gamer. She's a gamer.
chainsaw or wouldn't see the value of that type of a weapon after playing hours of Doom 2, that was ludicrous. I also happen to be a tree farmer, and yes, I like real chainsaws.
The tree farmer? Sweet. Laura, if you watch this video, come on the show. Let's talk. I'll talk about farming. You can talk about tree farming. Talk about game design. We'll talk about a whole bunch of stuff. Come on.
Chainsaws too. But the audience didn't know all of this. Nobody outside of my teams knew who I was. It was easy for show creators to push an easy-to-believe narrative about a clueless woman that clearly doesn't play games following a clueless Microsoft executive. And here's the other thing I never really thought about until later, is that the hoax was more believable because Microsoft was putting on the reality TV show. If you're just an audience member watching, you're going to think that it's true because
100%. 100%.
Because why would
I look at things completely different than everybody else in this channel, right? All of you in chat, when you watch a movie or watch a TV show or you watch something online, you think of it completely different than I do. And not because we're each individual people, because I worked in the industry and I don't trust anything. Nothing, right? Last night when I was watching Murs in the Building, there was a shot that happened and it irritated me because it was behind the shoulder shot. And Martin Short said a line, but his mouth didn't move. It drove me fucking nuts. All right, I watch things differently, right? Like when you see the pizza being made or the sausage being made, you completely different feeling about it than just eating the sausage.
Microsoft talk about two of its key contributors in such a terrible way and make them look bad? They wouldn't do that, right? Except they did, because that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I still have no idea who approved the video.
When they finally cut this thing together, I acknowledged that they were actually going to make Laura the bad guy, Ferguson said.
Who thought it was okay to throw my reputation under the bus? I know it wasn't Epic. They had no idea.
No. This was 100% on the production company, whoever did this. If Microsoft did it, I don't know. I would have to look it up to see what it is.
We had a great relationship. Here's Mike after Gears 1 Game of the Year at GDC.
Goes to Gears of War.
And then, of course,
is this the Real Game Awards?
I'd really like to thank Microsoft one more time. Everybody sort of makes the obligatory, oh, the publisher, they paid for it, cheers. But Gears of War wouldn't happen the way it did without the fantastic support of Microsoft. I know there's a lot of folks here from Microsoft Game Studios. I know Laura Fryer's over there sitting with us, and she always gets to watch me accept the awards. But you should stand up, and everybody else from MGS should too, because they put their heart and soul, and a lot of put their asses on the line for this game. And, we just had a fantastic partnership, so thanks very much.
Would he have said that if I had tried to cut the Lancer from the game?
Right.
No. I also know it wasn't Peter Moore because I remember him calling me after it aired to ask me what the heck was going on. At the end of the day, I was shocked and I was tired. I just wanted to ship Gears and I wanted Gears of War to be successful. So what I decided to do was just walk away and not pursue it. I decided to take one for the team.
That's twice now. So this video is 8 months old. And then the video she was talking about how she had a problem with another coworker. She walked away from that. So she's a person that she's a bigger person than everybody else. because she's been shit on multiple times in multiple videos now, and she just keeps cool. She stays cool.
And hoped that it would blow over, but it didn't. Immediately following
the production company were creative editing to make it sound like Microsoft wanted to cut the chainsaw from the game and not the trailer. And then they get a bunch of Laura Fryer chainsaw hating hag. Yeah, look at this.
Show, the internet haterade turned me into the chainsaw hating hag. People were pretty mean, and here
does she look and sound like she's an angry hag? We've watched multiple videos of her now. I don't think she's changed much from what she was to what she is today. I mean, obviously she's grown as a person, but she doesn't seem like a person that's very vindictive and angry person. That's not how she comes across at all.
Here we are 18 years later, and this hoax is still circling around YouTube. Here is a video from 2020 by What Culture Gaming. It's a great video, by the way, but it is based on a hoax.
The Lancer... She just called out the other channel. She's like, it's a great video, but it's full of shit.
Almost got cut.
I understand. It isn't easy. Even experienced YouTubers like the Act Man can be fooled. This was posted a few weeks ago.
It's funny because a few days before E3, Microsoft executive Peter Moore felt the Chainsaw Lancer was too gratuitous and gory, and he suggested that Epic remove it from the demo.
Not true. Not true.
Moore's comments were always about the trailer. Ever since that first day at Monolith, I've wondered how many people never brought this issue up because they were too kind to ask and to find out what really happened. Did it cost me jobs? Did it cost me promotions? Did people think that I was an idiot in the games industry all of these years? I'll never know.
Maybe. Maybe, because people are persuaded real easy. Real easy.
But I do know.
And I'll be honest. You know, maybe she did miss a job or two. But at the end of the day, I think her worth ethic and who she is got her the job that she was going to get regardless.
That it has changed me forever. If I see someone's reputation being destroyed online, I try to go figure out what's true and what really happened.
Exactly what I do. I never take it for face value. Some of you that are no longer in the community, maybe hate watch or whatever, okay? Try to make me out to be someone that I'm not. Try to put me in a frame of what the other streamers do and how they talk about shit and how they persuade certain things. Okay, that's all in your head. I know who I am as a person. I know who I am as a content creator. I'm very honest. I'm very blunt. Okay, and I say it how it is. Okay, I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to try to make. Like, I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing exactly who I would be if I was on camera or off camera.
Because I would want the same thing for myself. 2019, the record was set straight in this book, which, if you like Gears, is a great read. I give the author and guy from Microsoft a lot of credit for correcting the record. When they first asked me to interview for the book, I almost passed, but I decided to take a risk and trust them, and they didn't let me down.
That's nice. Because you could have been burnt twice.
I'm also thankful that Microsoft finally let us.
Mo says, "You mean you're not an asshole for real, Mike?" No, I am an asshole, Mo. No, I am an asshole, but I'm a sweet asshole.
Tell the truth about what really happened. Big companies don't like to admit to mistakes like these.
Satisfying. And all of a sudden you see this tide turn of every publisher is then developing for the Xbox 360.
If you've stayed with me to hear the full story, I appreciate it. This has been bugging me personally for a
So it did bug her when she did it. And all these years she's been suppressing it type of thing. And you know, this is what I do. Like, if something bothers me or whatever, I come to YouTube, I make content. It kind of lets me out. Like, when someone does something stupid, I say it. It frees me saying it. It's like therapy. You know what I mean? And she needed to get it out.
A long time. And I'm really hopeful that this will finally, once and for all, kill the chainsaw hoax.
That's a good video. When I watched the first 2 minutes, I was like, I have to talk about this. I was like, it's right in my wheelhouse of making content talking about the film industry, talking about reality TV, and it's talking about video games. Is like everything collided. Dog says, yes, the bad guy as Penny Parker. Hey, I was good as Penny Parker the other day, okay? I held my own. I should have got MVP. Should have had MVP. Was I 22 and 2? With like 6 assists. Defended like 13 damage input. Should have had it. That's a good video. Again, give it a like. Go check out her channel. Laura is blowing up, right? She's gotten 3,000 more subscribers just from 3 days ago. Do you know what I would do if I got 3,000 in like 2 days? I've been trying to get 3,000 in 2 years. Oh, dude, he had MVP, what, 6 of 7 games? You got to do a Marvel's Play with stream. I want to. It was just up until the point. We might do it on Friday, but the problem is, when I play on Friday, it's during the day, and a lot of you guys are working and whatnot. So no one played with me the last time we played on stream. I would love to play with you guys. I played for the first time with actual people. I played with Mr. Luke and Dog and stuff, and it was fantastic. I loved it. I was like, this is awesome playing with other people that you can actually talk to. Yeah, I would love to play. It just so happens because of the night schedule. I want to get done with Indiana Jones. So next Monday, we're going to probably finish Indiana Jones, or maybe Friday we'll finish Indiana Jones. Cheat code was he was using an easy character, but don't tell him that. Sarge doesn't want to play. He doesn't want to play. Well, maybe he will. But I would play. If we have a group of people that want to play, I'll play. I don't know if Sarge will play. Stray for $15. Maybe I'll pick that up. I just picked up the Star Trek game. I'll talk about it tomorrow night on January 6 Gaming. It's basically like a mobile game, but I'm having a blast with it. I'm doing like a whole playthrough of it off stream, and I'm recording it, and then I'll post my Star Trek game footage later. All right, so I think that is all the stories for today, so we can just bullshit for a little bit. Let's see what's happening on Twitter. I don't think the perspective that I just gave you off of Laura's, ordeal with the hoax, okay? I don't think you're going to get it from a lot of other people telling you about the industry. As she's talking about the industry of the video game, I'm telling you about the stuff, about the reality stuff behind the scenes and stuff. What game are you supposed to play? He wants you to play Marvel Rivals, Sarge. Police Simulator, $18. I don't know if I would. I do have a video game that they gave me a code for. I have to make a video on. The developers gave me a code for a snowplow simulator on PC. So I got to make a video of that sometime within the next 19 days. Gamer says, I appreciate your content, man. I'm new here in your community, but so far so good. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Give it time. I might rub you the wrong way and you'll leave. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm down to earth. I like doing content. I like talking to people. I'm not one of these people that's like, this is bad, this is good, as far as like console warrior type of stuff, right? We're just gamers, just talking about games. Give you my opinions, you give me your opinions. We have a conversation, not a debate, conversation, right? You guys might teach me something new. I might teach you something new, right? We might listen to each other. All right, we'll talk for a little bit more, about 15 minutes or so. So if you guys missed the morning show or the beginning of the show, I played a bunch of AI-generated songs for the daily grind, okay? What I'm going to ask from you guys, if you guys would like to participate in this, okay? So in the morning show, I played a couple of different songs. If you guys would like to hear the song that you came up with in the AI program and you want to submit it to me, you can make it whatever AI song you want to make, right, of the daily grind, okay? It just has to be about the daily grind, whatever you want. If you want to write the lyrics, if you want to put it in, if you send it to me, I'll play it in the morning for members, okay? If you're a member and you want to do it, I'll put your song that you created in the beginning of the show before we start. So if you guys missed it, this is the new opening of the show that we came up with.
Wake up to the sound of the daily grind. Morning laughs and news you'll find. Coffee strong and music plays. Kicking off these early days. The daily grind will blow your mind. Stories shared and jokes unwind. Moving up your morning time. Join the fun in the daily grind.
So if you guys want to make a song, submit it to me and I'll put it in the beginning. But that's the beginning of the show now. I don't know if I like the song just yet, but that's what we got right now. The daily grind sounds like something you get that happens at the strip club. I mean, yeah, whatever you want to associate it with. That's the type of daily grind I want. That's exactly what I was going for, Wolf. I was going for that like Saved by the Bell, like 90s type of stuff. Yeah. And we played a bunch of other songs. Here, this is a rap song if you guys missed it in the daily grind, right? Here you go.
Yo, waking up, gotta tune to the daily grind. Coffee steaming, got that focus on my mind. Gaming news, entertainment, what's the vibe? Live chat blowing up, it's do or die. From the streets to the screen, we keep it real. Interview the devs, give us something we can feel. Controllers clicking, avatars on the rise. Morning podcast, hit the air, catch those prize. From the streets to the screen, we keep it real. Interview the devs, give us something we can feel. Controllers clicking, avatars on the rise. Morning podcast, hit the air, catch those prize. The daily grind, where the podcast starts. Breaking news, breaking stats, throwing darts. Chats igniting, like a spark in the dark. Morning crew, we the ones that hit the mark. Got that retro flow, pixels in my veins. Playing all night, dreams feel like terrain. Classic titles and the new school.
Not sure I have enough street cred.
Cover every scene in a dozen frames. From Mario to Madden, we discuss it all. Heavy hitters in the chat, big or small. Questions flying, keep the answers tight. On the daily grind, we do it right. Xbox, PlayStation, everyone's clicking in. Nintendo still strong, never wearing thin. Talking cheats, exploits, and the latest skins. Every morning grind, let the games begin.
Oh yeah, these are all just made up. I don't care if people like it or not. I just put it into the program to see what it would do. Oh no, these are all long. The opening song, Makoki, I cut it off. The actual song is like 2.5 minutes. That's for the intro, 30 seconds. These songs are all full tracks. They play in the beginning before I go live, like the prep before I go live. Who wrote that? AI. AI wrote that, Mo.
Good morning, sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time. With gaming news and fun galore, we'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Controller ready.
Finally,
headset
real music.
too. We've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming all the ways. Laughs and news, our winning blend. The show with you, our dearest friend. Comments rolling, chats alive. The daily grind, 5-star vibe.
Yeah, it goes on for like 3 minutes, but I was gonna use that one as the main theme, but I like the punk stuff, so. Wait till you hear the Generation X gaming one. We're gonna put a new Generation X gaming song for season 11. 30. How about a daily grind in style of the Fallout music? We could do that. We could do anything now, right? The music is amazing, right? To use it for stuff like this, it's phenomenal. We can talk about a topic and then make a song about it. Yeah, I like the opening of what it is. That it's catchy. It's daily grind. Super catchy. 1 day left for sale, bro. Don't forget to. I got the sale. I bought the Star Trek game, Sarge. I paid $15 for the entire edition. It's like a $22 game, $25 game. I paid $15 for it. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you. It's super like an easy game, but I like it. It's good. Let me bring up a. Where is it? Where the hell is it? Where is it? I do a search, and I can't find it. Fantastic. All right. No, I don't want the app. I want a video. Oh, for God's sakes. I can't find it. For some reason, it's not popping up. Oh, here it is. It's basically a freaking mobile game, right? It's a mobile game, but it's meant for it's on console and stuff, right? So you just battle with Star Trek characters, right? And you upgrade your characters, and it's a one-time purchase. They have stuff in there. There's a store for DLC and whatnot, but for $15, I got the whole thing, right? And it's a fun little game. I'm upgrading stuff, so I'm having a little playthrough of this. I'm going to play through the whole game off stream, and then I'm just going to upload it later. It's a fun game. It really is. Yeah, a little combat. The audio, it's just dialogue. The story's pretty good so far. It's basically the multiverse of Star Trek. All the different captains and stuff are meeting each other through the. You're on a ship called the Artemis. So we'll talk about that on GXG a little bit. Oh, I'm more of a Star Wars fan, dog, but I like Star Trek every once in a while. So no, that wasn't Whoopi. Oh, there was Whoopi though. There was Whoopi. They do have her character. Yeah, I will never use her. I will never use her. So we are streaming, dual streaming now. We're streaming on YouTube, and we're also streaming on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter and you want to chat or whatever over on Twitter, you can't chat on Twitter, but you can watch it over on Twitter. So we're doing the dual stream this year for 2025. We're going to see if it grows the brand, grows the thing. I have a lot of goals set that I want to hit this year for the channel. So we're gonna try to stay on par with that. I would like to grow the channel about 5 times what it is by the end of this year. So I would love to hit 10K. I don't know if it'll happen, but that's my goal. That's my goal. We'll see what happens. Laura's got 3,000 in 2 days. Robert Jones says Star Trek greater than Star Wars. Now it is. It all depends on what I love the original Star Wars. If greater than to me, original Star Wars is greater than Star Trek. But Star Trek overall, for as many years as it's spanned, I would say Star Trek is greater than Star Wars. Are you going to play by the YouTube algorithm rules? I'm going to try, Jones. And by that, I'm still going to be uploading a bunch of different things to my channel. But I'm going to try to upload more because YouTube changed something in the algorithm where they show a lot more smaller streams now. And it really has nothing to do with subscribers. I'll be honest with you. Subscribers is not a thing. The only reason I need subscribers is because companies will reach out to me for like advertisements and stuff like that, for promotional stuff. Okay. That's the only reason I need subscribers. I honestly don't give two shits about the subscriber number, but I need that subscriber number to go up to get more things to me, right? I'm doing this as the main thing. And I would love just the community, right? That's all, right? If I get more daily people coming in every day to come hang out, talk about video games, talk about different topics, react to videos and stuff like that, I would be happy as a pig in shit with that, right? I find it hard on YouTube, especially going live. Yeah, the live doesn't play nice. So this is why we're going to take the videos that I do in the mornings and I'm going to try to break them apart and then upload them. So what I'm going to try to do is if you are a subscriber or if you are a member, I'm not going to try to hit you with the notifications, but because you've watched it live, right? But these breakout videos like this Laura Fry video that we just watched, that will be another upload on its own, okay? And basically all I need is if you are a subscriber or you are a member, that I don't need you to watch the whole video again. But I need you to hit the like button, or I need you to you know like click on it. You know what I mean? Because that's the way it goes. Hey, your members are watching this, and if your members are watching this, then we'll put it out to other people, type of thing. But because I do live chat or I do live shows, it doesn't put it out the same, right? It doesn't put it out the same at all. Sarge says, too many games on sale, bro. I'm losing it. What games are on there? Like, what games? I'm turning it on right now, sir. Games are you freaking out about? Sir, what games are on sale that you're losing it? I got plenty of games I'm playing. I'm playing Indiana Jones. I'm playing Star Trek. I'm playing Marvel Rivals. I'm playing Path of Exile 2. I got plenty of games. Do I need any more games? Countdown sale? Sale up to 60%? Is that what you're looking at? Countdown sale. All right, let's look at this. What we got here? We got it on screen. All right, what do we got here? What do we got? We got Space Marine 2 at $52. Nah, it's not done yet. As many people that love Space Marines 2, it's not done yet. They just showed their whole roadmap for the next year. When that roadmap's done, then I'll be interested. New World 41. I own Cyberpunk, but I don't know the Ultimate Edition. Yeah. See, I own a lot of these games already. Installable, own. Look at this line right here. I own that one. I own that one. I own that one. I own that one. Police Simulator, $17.99. That'll be one day. Why play Diablo when I have Path of Exile 2? Talk about greater than, less than. Path of Exile 2 is greater than Diablo 4. We have that game. AEW Fight Forever. We played that like 2 years ago. Now there's a game maybe I'll play. Alaskan Road Trucker. I have that though on the PC. There you go. Anthem's on sale for $2.99. Some would say that's too much. Some would say it's too much. Yeah, $27.99 for Avatar. Daily deals just for me. Transformers Rise of the Beast, $4.99 with Game Pass. No, I'm good. I'm good. Hey, look, I can get Outlaws for $84.49. Original price $129. Kiss my ass. Ain't getting that from me. I'll pay $18 if I go back to you. Who's the Ants? Empire of Ants. That's $27.99. Just for me. I own it. Why would I need to buy it? $9 for Jedi Survivor. I own it. Immortals of Avium. $8. $8. This game came out when? 14 months ago? 14 months ago, it's $8. $80. Jesus, Joker's already on DVD or streaming, whatever. Oregon Trail, $15. I'll wait for the movie, Sarge. I'll wait for the movie. They're making a live action Oregon Trail. I'll wait for the movie. Mo says if EA would have stuck with Anthem, we would still be playing it today. Perhaps, maybe. Altern says, why bother owning a game day one when you can wait 12 months for it to be fixed and it's discounted? Yeah. Yeah. Imagine that. Jason says, Suicide Squad is going to be on PlayStation Plus next week. I guarantee you it comes to Game Pass as well after the 1 year comes out. I guarantee you they put it to Game Pass, Jason. Yeah, we saw it yesterday. We showed the an article about Oregon Trail. %. It's gonna go to. What the hell just happened? Where did everything go? I lost everything. All right. Yeah, after the 1 year comes out, they'll throw it on Game Pass. They don't want to tell you now, but it'll be there. 1000%. I gotta find. Is it this one? I think it's this one. And then we'll hear stories if it's not being a bad game. Arma's on PC, Sarge. I don't think it's on console. I'm pretty sure it's not on console. All right. We are done for the day. I appreciate it very much for coming out for the daily grind. If you guys like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do live streams, uploads. We will be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be playing some game with Sarge tonight. Shooting the shit with Sarge. Whatever that game is, we'll be doing that tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Wake up to the sound of the daily grind. Morning laughs and news you'll find. Coffee strong and music plays. Kicking off these early days. The daily grind will blow your mind. Stories shared and jokes unwind. Moving up your morning time. Join the fun in the daily grind. News and chatter all around. Morning show that shakes the ground. Get your fix of light and sound. Where the coolest folks are found. The daily grind. The daily grind will blow your mind. Stories shared and jokes unwind. Blowing up your morning time. Join the fun in the daily grind. News and chatter all around. Morning show that shakes the ground. Get your fix of light and sound. Where the coolest folks are found.